Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, and in the commentary box this week, it is a father-son duo here tonight. It is Kelly Davis in the commentary box with me tonight. Kelly, how are you, my friend?
Very well, thank you, Daniel. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm good and happy to be here in what's a slightly moist Australia.
Definitely slightly moist. I'm just going to turn you up ever so slightly just to make sure that everyone can hear you loud and clear. But yeah, we are in Bathurst, Mount Panorama, New South Wales for the pro race and round 6 of the season. And I'll tell you what, Kelly, I don't know if the pros are getting away with this or not, but it seems like a greasy track at the minute. We did come into the session, it was damp, but it seems to be lightening up the rain and getting into a dry session. So a lot of these guys are going to be doing a lot of work trying to dial their cars into the greasy conditions.
It could be really interesting tonight, Dan. The conditions have been changeable all week. We've had rain all week, all the way through the categories, and it was a bit changeable last night. But I think this is going to be a toss-up between wets and slicks tonight.
Yeah, definitely so. And also another thing that we discovered as well, especially with these changeable conditions, is that 1 minute you could be testing and practicing in the wet session, and then out of nowhere the race is greasy or it's damp, or if you've been testing in drier conditions, next thing you know, day 2 ends up being monsoon. So we just don't know what's going to come our way tonight regarding the pros. But let's have a quick chat about Bathurst Mount Panorama. Fantastic circuit. Like I said, we're in New South Wales, Australia. Kelly, first things first, let's get your opinion on this fantastic circuit, an iconic circuit at that.
Yeah, I love it, Dan. Both you and me both love this circuit. We've always been fans of it, not just from a driver's point of view, although it is a very specific challenge here at Bathurst. It's also just a great track, you know, a proper old school challenge.
Definitely so, and it's one of those circuits that definitely reward the brave, and obviously this is a circuit that brings whoever's the most patient and confidence, it will reward them the most. We're still waiting on a few drivers to turn up. Gary has just joined into the session. We're still waiting on Fury also to join into the lobby as well. A couple of things. This is a street circuit, funnily enough, even though a lot of us know it as just a normal race circuit. It is a street circuit. The circuit is 6.2 kilometers long, but in normal language, it is 3.8 miles long. FIA grade 3, and the track levels from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain changes from 174 meters, or in feet 571 feet. So that's quite an elevation change from the bottom of the hill to the top. The road circuit, the actual road itself, is used every day, which is the top of the mountain, and it has to be restricted to most road cars. The road goes both ways, just like your normal road does, and they have to stick to 37 miles an hour. They cannot go any faster than that up and down the mountain. A couple of interesting facts about this circuit. The 12 hours of Bathurst in 2010 had to be red flagged and stopped due to a tree had fallen down on the circuit on the exit of Forest Elbow, which Tech Leader is coming down the hill now. If we finish his lap, I'll tell you exactly where the tree fell down. But most known for this circuit is obviously the V8 supercars always come here. This is the famous circuit for the Bathurst 1000. And where Tech Leader is about to go through the left kink now is where the tree was laid down. So the 12 hours of Bathurst had to be delayed due to a tree in the middle of the circuit, which is fantastic. But the most known, obviously, event here is the Bathurst 1000, which the supercars come here. And I was doing a bit of research on the supercar, on the circuit, and according to one YouTuber who's a massive motorsport fan, he reckons that Bathurst has held the greatest race of all time, which was back in 2014. And a few notes I've made quickly just for this event. The car that went on to win the race had actually been in the wall twice at turn 2. The car that was leading most of the race was Jamie Whincup, and he started last. On the very last lap, he ran out of fuel and lost the win. Chaz Mostert then came from in the wall, car was in the garage being repaired, and he went on to win the race. Another car that went on the podium to finish second was the 360 Nissan of Moffat, who also had been in the same wall twice and had major damage to the car, and then he went on to finish second in the race. So also the track conditions were so hot. Turn 2 was the reason why everyone was going off, was because it was that hot. The tires were ripping the tarmac off the floor and was causing so many potholes and blisters in the track. So the track had to be red flagged, stopped, so that they could fill in the potholes. So fun fact for you, and if you do ever want to have a look at that race, go back and look it up. The Bathurst 1000 in 2014, probably one of the greatest race in motorsport history. It's definitely a one to look at. But that's a quick rundown of Bathurst. And like I said, it is a fantastic circuit here, Kelly. And like I said, it does reward the patient and the brave.
Yeah, well, just going on what you said, 2014 was obviously a fantastic year for motorsport, because that was also the Canadian Grand Prix where Jenson Button came from last after doing about 6 pit stops.
2011. That was 2011.
Was it 2011? Oh, well, yeah, ignore I'm obviously rusty on my motorsport facts. What I will say, though, is it's not unusual to see a kangaroo or two around this circuit as well. The V8 supercars have come face to face with a couple of kangaroos around this circuit in the middle of the Bathurst 1000 as well. I got a few facts for you, Dan, but I did my facts on the actual city itself of Bathurst, which, as you said, is in New South Wales. Which, if anyone's interested, is on the kind of bottom right of Australia, which is part of the cooler places of Australia. Just a little bit back from Sydney it is. It's got a population of 37,000 people, and it is known as the Gold City because it was one of the first places that gold was struck back in the gold rush in Australia. Yeah, so known as the gold country. So, yeah.
Very much so. And it's definitely a circuit that me and you seem to be very fond of, because we seem to know so much facts about this track.
Yeah, we do. It's hard to believe that you can have two-way traffic on here, though, isn't it? Because it's not a wide circuit at all.
No. The circuit is only closed off twice over a time, obviously for the 12 hours of Bathurst and also for the Bathurst 1000. So, the most of the time it is an actual road circuit. So, we're on board with Ripper. He's now going to start a flying lap. We will take you for a lap around Bathurst Mount Panorama as he heads up towards turn 1, which is Hell Corner. A very easy corner to get wrong. And to be honest, I find turn 1 and the final corner the actual hardest corners, because although you've done all that time getting up and down the hill, you can still mess up just in 2 very simple corners. He's now heading up towards Mountain Straight, which is relatively easy enough, a little crest over, and he heads up towards Quarry Bend, making sure he gets a good braking zone and get the car turned in, but he has to be patient on the throttle as he then heads up towards the cutting. A very, very difficult corner to get right, as you could go flat pretty much in the dry and then hit the braking zone, but you can hear Ripper just being tentative on the throttle. He exits the cutting and heads up towards Griffin's Mountain. And as he goes up to Griffin's Mount, this again is a very tricky section as he heads into Reed Park. It is how dare you get close to the wall. You really have to try and push it right to the limit as he goes through Solomon Park. As he goes through Solomon Park, he comes up to McMurphy Park as well, and then heads down into Skyline and then into the S's section. Braking is very tricky down here as the rear wants to snap on you all the time. He then heads into the Dipper. Again, second gear corner. The car wants to kill you at this point and is struggling and screaming at you as he goes into the most famous corner, Forest Elbow. And again, this is where that tree fell down and got in the way of the Bathurst 12,000. You finally negotiated the hill and the mountain, and you head down towards Comrade Straight. You're thinking, done, easy, no problem. I've got this in the bag now. As you come over the crest, you're thinking, all I've got to do now is get through the chase. Well, in the dry, it's relatively simple. In the wet, it's not as simple as it is. Quick right-hander into a tight chicane towards the end as Ripper's missed his brakes by a mile, and that's how easy it is to get the chase wrong. If he had completed the lap, he would have then headed towards Murray's Corner, and we'll go on board with Paulo, and that would have been the end of the lap. I think it's Overtaker that's actually in the final corner. There he is. He's into Murray's Corner, and on the exit as well, and then that's basically a lap of Bathurst And yeah, definitely a circuit, like I said, rewards the people who are patient and brave. And when you do nail the lap, it's probably one of the most satisfying laps that you will ever do in sim racing. Kelly, obviously, the circuit used to be known as Bathurst. It's now known as Mount Panorama. Obviously, the writing on the side of the hill has been changed. It does actually say Mount Panorama instead of Bathurst now. Which car out of all the ones that we've seen on the grid at the minute would you favour to be the best around here?
Oh, which would I find? It's hard to say, Daniel. To be fair, I went. You know, I've only driven the McLaren, so it's hard to say from my point of view because that's the only car I've driven. But you're right; it favours the brave, this track. So something that's well planted. I'm on board with Overtaker at the moment. He's at the top of the mountain, and these corners here need pinpoint precision to be quick. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something. One of the good downforce cars, I suppose, mid-engined, something like that would be probably the best thing to use.
As Overtaker does
yes.
he had a big moment.
That's what happens.
When you mess it up, Bathurst does bite, and it bites quite heavy. And then obviously
really
the problem, and then at that point as well, when you're in the race, when a car like that's in the middle of the circuit, there's not really much you could do because the car is literally blocking the entire track. So it is tricky when you do get it wrong. So what are we looking at? Possibly a Ferrari, maybe an Audi that's probably best suited for this circuit?
Yeah, something. I mean, it's. I mean, just going with that. Remember the days of Project Cars when we could actually use the reset button because it's so dangerous to be in the middle of the track in that section, isn't it? And we used to have the reset button back then, but we don't have such buttons nowadays. So yeah, it's going to be interesting if someone spins on the downhill tonight because it could be carnage. But yeah, sorry, going back to your question, yeah, probably a Ferrari, Audi, something like that would be great.
Well, we're currently on board with Tibbs. He's currently third at the minute. He's only a 10th off of Overtaker, but obviously the man that we've all been looking at this season that's just absolutely been dominating it once again with race wins has been Ripper. He's only had a bad round, which had been the Hungaroring, where he wasn't on the, I believe he wasn't on the podium. He was on the podium once, but he finished 10th in race 2, which was his worst race. Other than that, he's been first or second, and he's only been 10th once. Other than that, that's been his season. His only real challenger this season has been Overtaker, and him himself has been on the podium near enough every single race until the final race at Donington, where he's finished 5th. This is now why these two are only 22 points separating each other in the championship, and once again, both of them are at the top of the tables once again. And while we're on the subject of the tables, let's run down the tables as we are at round 6 of the season. Ripper is still leading the way with 22 points. He's got 328 points to his name, with Overtaker with 306. 22 separates those two. There's quite a gap then to Overtaker's teammate, with Fury sitting in P3 in the McLaren 720S, who's currently not in the session. Then there's Peaceful Explosion sitting in 4th in the Honda NSX, with Matt away at the minute, sitting in the P5 position. Then we got Tech Leader, who can gain some points on Matt Zahimovic while he is away. Also, his teammate, Gary131, who's sitting in P7, he can also gain some points on Matt while he's away. Also, only 13 points behind him, with Jay sitting in P8. P9 is Exit Tibbs with a fantastic start of the season. His midpoint of the season has been a little bit of a lull, but he's looking good here at Bathurst. With Nexus in the most ridiculous car choice of the season, in the Pro, in the Jaguar, is sitting mid-pack off the tables. That was a shock in the first place. Euro sitting in P11 in the Ferrari, with Smoky Devil sitting in P12 in the BMW. Louis Allen is 13th, with Wolfinator in 14th place position. Emplava in 15th, with Paulo joining around round 3 or 4. Is in 16th place position. Shane in 17th, 18th is Ben Bath, 19th was Breeze, and T still yet to score a point. Regarding the constructors, it is Teletubby Motorsport leading the way, with Jaeger Motorsport 174 points behind, and with no Fury and no Matt at the minute, it's a straight fight between Overtaker and Gary. Killer Performance sitting in P3 position, and they're not still a million miles away from Jaeger Motorsport, with the Flying Potato sitting in P4. They've got their little scrap against SimPlay Motorsport and Titan Euro Racing. In P7 is Hot Wheels Racing, and bringing up the rear is JWB Esports Racing. Regarding the constructors, It is Bentley still leading the way, 326 points ahead of Audi, with Ferrari in third, McLaren in fourth, and Honda in fifth. Porsche, Lexus, Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, Lamborghini, Nissan, and Retia all can't win the Manufacturers' Championship now. So there's only the top 5 all going for that one. And that is a roundup of your standings. And Kelly, obviously, the way this season's gone, obviously, with your focusing on Pro-Am and not really keeping an eye on what's been going on in the Pro, it has really been about Ripper and Overtaker this season. I think they're the only two, bar possibly Matt as well, to take a... I think Matt took a race win. No, sorry, it has only been Overtaker and Ripper, the only two to win this season. It has really been a fight between those two, and now Ripper has now got Overtaker within 7/10 of him.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like a titanic battle. I mean, these two boys, Ripper is the defending champion, am I right? And Overtaker is a double champion?
I think he's just the one. He's just got the one.
Okay, and was that P in the Project Cars era?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, both really quick guys, and yeah, good to see a strong battle at the beginning, but at the top, should I say? But as you said, I haven't been focused this year on the pro season, so it's I don't know a lot about them, to be fair, especially not Ripper. I've raced with Overtaker, or I say raced with. Been lapped by Overtaker, but I haven't raced with Ripper. I've done some practice sessions with him, and being that I've got a reputation for being a good defender, he's got really good overtaking skills and mugged me quite easily at Donny Park. So yeah, they've both got skills, and that's why they're at the top, isn't it? The top of pro. And I mean, this is from my time in pro. This league has moved forward so much in the last few seasons, you know, and the quality of driving here in pro has stepped up so much.
Oh yeah, definitely. So even like, obviously, I wish I would be racing with these boys as well, but I still think that I'd struggle to be on the Ripper and Overtaker space. These guys have really stepped up, and it is down to the rest of the boys to get to that stage. We are at a greasy point of the track, so slicks are probably the best tyre, as Smoky Devil now crosses the line and goes P3, which was a shock there.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that something normal for Smoky? Is he improved that much to be like you know, that being his pace, or is he just got lucky?
I think this season he has struggled in the pro, and I think just due to the conditions, I think it's now starting to favour the BMW a bit more. He had a very good Pro-Am season, but I think being introduced to the pro, he's a bit of a jump from his little pond in Pro-Am and now into the ocean of pro. So we're currently on board with Gary 131, your original two-time champion, doing it for Jaeger. He's in the Porsche. And Overtaker was telling me the other night, obviously he's done a lot of research into this, and he wants the best car, wanting, you know, to be the fastest and to be able to take the fight to Ripper. And he was telling me that actually the Porsche has the most records on the PS4. It is apparently it is the fastest car on ACC if you can dial it in. But the problem is getting into that small window. And Gary, on the other hand, is really trying his best. He's a man who loves a car that slides.
Yes.
And we'll see how he gets on tonight in the Porsche.
I've said it many times about Gary. He's probably one of the most natural drivers on the grid. He can just kind of turn his hand to anything, really, and get a result out of it. But he always has been a fan of the Porsche, as you have, and as I have. But I've never been able to control it on Project Cars, let alone on here. And I have heard exactly the same as you, Dan. It takes dialing in to make it work properly. But it's a beautiful bit of kit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a beautiful bit of kit, and yeah, I do think that when we eventually do move to the PS5 or even the PC League, the 992, which is the next version of this car, I've been doing a lot of testing in it on PC, and it is a beautiful car. It's not as fast in a straight line as the other new cars that are available, but this one handles beautifully as well. So yeah. We will see how Gary gets on in the Porsche.
Yes.
A reminder as well of tonight's schedule. A reminder. So these guys are currently coming to the end of their practice session. They've been in here for roughly an hour now as Gary has a twitch and manages to catch it. He caught it, luckily. So race 1 is going to be a reverse grid of the championship. And at the minute, we've got 12 cars, and this is what the reverse grid should sound like. It will be Louis Allen will be starting on pole position with Smoky Devil in second. Third is Euro, and P4 will be Nexus. P5 will be then Exit Tibbs with Jay sitting in P6. Gary 131 will then start in P7 with Tech Leader in P8. Mike Peaceful Explosion will start P9, and then it will be Overtaker. Fury may not be able to make race 1, so it will be Overtaker who will be in P10. Then it will be Ripper in P12, and Paulo is asked to start at the back of the pack, so he will be starting in 12th place position. Shane hasn't turned up, so if he does turn up in the next 2 minutes, he will be starting last. But it is 12 cars, and that is your reverse grid order. They will have a 20-minute sprint race where they have to do at least one pit stop and they have to change their tyres. Once they've done that, that is their pit stop done, and they will go to the end. Then we'll have a small little break. These guys will have a 10-minute practice session for them to go out if they want to, and then they'll go into a 15-minute qualifying session where they can go for the feature race, battling it out for an extra point for pole position. And then into the feature race they go, which will be a 45-minute race, and also there will be another pit window, but that will be at the halfway point, and that will be 10 minutes. I believe it's 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, sorry. 20-minute window, and they have to pit within that window. If they do not, then they will get a penalty. And again, they must change tyres. And then that will be that, and we will declare king of Mount Panorama by the end of the night. And that is a quick rundown of tonight's schedule. And Kelly, sprint race, first race, reverse grid, Bathurst. Describe that.
Well, I had a cunning plan last night to drop back because I was running fourth in the championship. I was reasonably close to the back. So I decided that I'd have a cunning plan and that I would hold back, let you guys go past me, and then pit on the first lap to give myself clear air and concentrate on just going up and down the mountain and not have to worry about traffic. That went drastically wrong when I crashed in the first couple of corners on the way down the hill. So that went miserably wrong. But that would be my strategy. If I'm towards the back, it's hellishly hard to overtake. It's a very thin track and it's raining. Or it's greasy rain. Mm-hmm. I think it depends where you are on the track, innit? If you're at the front, then you need to make a break and go for it. If you're at the back, maybe an early pit stop is the best way to go about it. Who knows?
Who knows, indeed. And obviously I learned on the GT4 night that when you do your formation lap, you can't just pit straight away. The game will hold you for 2 minutes. So if anyone was thinking that, I saved you from an embarrassment from that. So it was Ripper who was fastest of that session. The track is still greasy. We're about to go into the sprint race, and it looks like it is going to stay greasy. This is going to be tricky for these boys because they've now got to make the decision whether or not they want to run slicks or wets, and that will really determine how this night's going to go. Good evening to a lot of people in the chat. There's currently 13 people watching.
I was just about to do the chat, you know, because it just felt like old times, you know, because Peaceful Stepdad, good evening. PN Motorsport, we've swapped seats again now. PN is usually here sat in the box, but he's on the chat tonight. Audio Sport, well, that's actually me, so that don't matter. And good evening to Hypertech. Had some great fun with Hypertech in Pro-Am, and we had a good battle towards the end of the race last night, so good evening to him. And who's the one at the bottom?
That is Nexus. Nexus.
Is it? Oh, Nexus.
He's
normally here, isn't he?
Yeah, he normally commentates on the Pro-Am.
Pro-Am. Nexus, or however you pronounce your name. Ben. Yeah, I can do Ben. That's easy enough. Good evening, Ben, and welcome along. So the session's about to start. They're probably just messing around with tyre pressures and fuel loads right now. And getting ready. When are you normally ready up, Dan?
Around 20 to 15 seconds left to go because the game sometimes needs a minute to load. And sometimes if you don't ready up in time, you will start from pit lane and then you are a lap down. And at that point, especially around here, your race is done. Let's be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. I was on our old format where we used to just have a couple of corners and not a full formation lap. I was finding that the later you left it, the more tyre temperature you would keep before you were dropped onto the track. But of course, now we do a full formation lap. Yeah, that's null and void. And the guys are away. Of course, this is formation lap, so they get themselves into the order that Dan told you about, because I couldn't remember who was on pole and who's at the back, to be honest.
Well,
Ripper at the back, obviously.
Well, I will remind you of the grid. It should be Louis Allen on pole position with Smokey Devil starting in second. I'm going to try my best to get the drivers in the right order. There is Smokey, yes, so he'll be starting in second.
Yep.
P3 then should be the way of Euro, which he is in the third place position. Then it should be the Jaguar of Nexus in P4. Then we should have Exit Tips in P5. So far, so good from the pros. They're managing to get the hang of this by now. Jay should then be in P6, which he is. And then we have the two-time champ, Gary131, sitting in that 7th place position. Then we have Tech Leader, your AM champion, sitting right behind him. As then we look to Peaceful Explosion, as Kelly used to call him, was in season 2, I believe it was.
He's 3 and 4.
And 3 and 4. He's starting in P9. P10 should then be the way of Overtaker, which it is. And then we should have the championship leader at the back of the pack of Ripper. Now, Louis Allen needs to start backing the pack up a little bit, just so they're all nicely concertinaed up. And we got a long way to go around this this circuit to get racing here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. And while I'm at the stage of these guys getting themselves to the end of the formation lap, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss a single thing here at SimPlay Motorsport. Also, there's currently a poll out on who you think is going to win race 1. While you're at it as well, hit the description and have a look and scroll down to our fantastic supporters and sponsors here of Design Manchester and Audio Sports. So give them a like and follow on their channels as well, and social media as well. And yeah, we're about to get racing here. And if you do want to be a part of racing here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to SimGrid to get yourself signed up for any events that are running. We currently have spaces available for the GT4s, AM and Pro-Am. Pro is occupied at the minute, but we will get you in as well. There is a PS5 league starting next Sunday as well, so get yourself signed up for that and get involved in the Discord and be involved in anything that goes on here at SimPlay Motorsport, and keep an eye on what is happening regarding fun events and anything else that goes on here on the channel. Kelly, I'll come to you. Race winner for the first race.
I'm going to spoil Overtaker's night and say Overtaker.
You're going to go Overtaker. I'm going to go Ripper. But again, you guys can vote who you think is going to win this one. At the minute, the votes are going the way of Overtaker as of now. But there is also Spooky Devil, Louis Allen for choice. But also, while you're at it, you can put your own votes in as well. Just write in the chat who you think is going to win this one. We want to hear from you guys as well.
Yeah, let's have some feedback. Yeah.
You guys basically run this channel. We like to hear from all of you. Let's hear you in the chat. But it is Louis Allen who will then bring the pack together. They now go into a double file formation. Honda versus BMW for the front row. But at the back of the pack, the two we want to keep an eye on is Bentley versus Audi. Ripper versus Overtaker. Who is going to conquer the mountain tonight?
Who are you going to follow from your commentary position?
We are going to go on board with Tech Leader mid-pack so we can see exactly what happens.
I'm going to then go, because I've got a different view to you. Shall I go towards the back? Yeah, I'm going to go towards the back then and watch things from the back. I'm on board with Ripper.
As we now head into the final corner, and we're about to get underway here for the first race of Bathurst in the pros, as the race will now be initialized. And now the lights will come on in a few moments' time. Who's going to get the best start here at Mount Panorama? We are green for the first race of the sprint, and we've gone on board with Nexus as we all head into turn one. The top four all managed to negotiate, but Louis Allen, who goes a bit wide, that now blocks the entire circuit up. Euro has gone to the inside, but Nexus in the Jaguar has had a great run on the outside and is right up into second place. Now Louis Allen defends the inside and tries to hold that position. He looks to the outside as they head up towards the right-hander. Tech leader and overtaker all coming up towards the hill, and Euro's gone wide, but they've all managed to negotiate for it as Smoky Devil's in the wall, and Gary 131 also working his way up the pack as well. Gary's had a fantastic start, while Ripper meanwhile has been patient and been waiting at the back, but Peaceful has had a fantastic start there, sticking on the back of overtaker and working his way through the order, but it's actually Jay who's the man on the move in the Ferrari.
Yes, indeed. Smoky Devil went backwards there as he got himself on the grass. It's tight up the hill there. I'm not surprised that patience and caution was used by all the drivers. Overtaker up one on Peaceful Explosion, but Ripper, as you said, is being patient, sitting towards the back. This isn't going to be done all in lap one, that's for certain sure.
Oh, as the two Ferraris, a Tech leader and Euro, have a little moment going down towards the S's. Into the dipper they go, and Euro just seems to be struggling at the start of this race. But meanwhile, it is the Jag of Nexus leading the way with the two Hondas of the Titan Euro Racing Boys of Louis Allen and Exit Tibbs trying to hunt them down. Meanwhile, the Ferrari of Jay is looking very quick, and he is right on the rear wing of the two Hondas.
Yes, indeed, as we come down to Conrod Straight for the first time and into the chase. Nexus is the first one into the chase. We'll see how slippery it is as he comes through. Seems to have no problems as Lily Allen closes up under braking through the chase as Ben gets through there nicely. Lily Allen has a bit of a wiggle. Exit Tibbs is right behind him in the Honda as they come down into the last corner for the first time. Jay also right there as well, and Gary not far behind. Nice, good, clean first lap by the looks of things.
Oh, Smoky Devil, the only one who was the real big loser out of all that. He's at the back of the pack, and he's very slow. He's possibly got a puncher or something. He's coming into the pits.
Overtaker and Ripper. Oh, sorry, Dan. Overtaker and Ripper in the pits. That's all for the first ones. They're going to try and find some clean air, aren't they?
They are indeed, but they're obviously, Ripper and Overtaker are the ones that are going to be racing one another. Overtaker's going to hate us because he's in between both of our cars.
Annoying Audio Sport Team Audio Sport cars there, parked right in the way. That is annoying, but there's nothing we can do about it at this time. So Ripper's in, he's on his marks, Overtaker's on his marks, and they both seem to stop really well. As you said, Overtaker was right in between the two beautiful Audio Sport Team Audio Sport cars, audiosport.co.uk. Let's see which one of them gets away first. But it's still Ben out in the lead at the moment.
Oh! Sorry, Louis Allen just clipped the top of the top of the mountain there, and he's just lost a little bit of time here as he's now got Exit Tibbs right behind him and Jay's right behind him as well. So this has allowed the Jaguar of Nexus just to put away ever so slightly. And a fun fact for you, the Nexus's Jaguar is the oldest car on the grid. In every single vehicle that is on ACC, it is the oldest car, and it is leading the way at the minute.
Yes, indeed. Overtaker got out in front of Ripper. He's actually got a second on him at the moment, so he's in good shape at the moment after those pit stops. So it's Overtaker.
Nexus has had a moment in Forest Elbow. Sorry about that, as the Smoky Devil has a drive through, and look at this. We go on board with Exit Tibbs. He's seeing Louis Allen and Nexus go side by side, heading down towards Conrad said towards the chase, and Nexus thinks, no, I'm not gonna fight you through the chase. Oh, as Tibbs hits the curb, he's gone round. Can everyone avoid him? Gary has just been clipped. He's gone round. Tech leader's gone wide. Euro's managed to avoid all that, as has Peaceful. But Gary comes off worse, and he comes back on track. Poor Gary just minding his own business, and he got caught up with Tibbs' mistake, who clobbered the curb, and off he goes. He'll be coming straight into the pits. Both of them do, and that is really going to help out Overtaker and Ripper clear some more traffic. Jay, meanwhile, is right on the rear wing of Louis Allen and could possibly sniff an opportunity of a race win in the sprint here at Bathurst Mount Panorama.
Yeah, Gary takes the opportunity to dive into the pits, as does Exit Tibbs as well. They're going to serve their pit stops. Are they going to have damage? Are they going to bother repairing it?
Who knows? That is the question. That's the strategy down to them. How badly were they damaged? I mean, I carried about 16 seconds worth of damage. It was drivable, but it was a bit sketchy, and that's the last thing you want here at Mount Panorama. Meanwhile, Jay is really hustling the back of this Honda now. Give him a little flash of lights as he headed up towards Mountain Straight, but he's right on the rear wing of the Honda. Nexus is just a little bit further back, half a second, just sitting back, watching what happens here. But Nexus looking very good in the Jaguar at the moment. But this has all allowed Overtaker and Ripper to come into the pits, and off they go. Peaceful, Gary and Tibbs all were ahead of these guys, and they're in the pits, and they're still not gone green yet. So Ripper and Overtaker's first lap was phenomenal then, as Jay's at a moment, and he's gone behind Nexus.
Yeah, I was just watching Ripper's catching on the back of Overtaker. He's caught up that gap quite quickly. So these two are going to have to just get their foot down and try and clear as much as a pack as possible. And where are we then? Oh, yes. Still Lily Allen in front. Jay all over the back of him. And Ben is... Where's Ben? He's dropped back a little bit, hasn't he? Yeah.
Nexus
he's in second, yes.
Yeah, Jay had a moment on the top of the mountain. Obviously, ACC. ACC split times don't update as good as Project Cars. Is every time they go through a split, it gets updated. Meanwhile, Euro is right on the rear wing of a tech leader, but it's all about Jay, and he's looking to the outside of Nexus, and Nexus goes in. So does Louis Allen. Now, this is the opportunity Jay and tech leader have always done this season. Both of these Ferraris have both stayed out very late, and they've used the track or the reverse grid later on with the clean air to try and build the gaps that they have. The other Ferrari of Euro is behind them as well. So it's an all Ferrari 1, 2 and 3 at the minute here at Mount Panorama. But Overtaker is the leading car of the pitters, as Exit Tibbs is quite a bit away off Peaceful. Peaceful must have had damage or something, because he ended up behind Tibbs, and Gary in 11th with Smokey serving his drive-through as well. So we see where Louis Allen and we'll see where Louis Allen comes out of all this, because this should be interesting.
Absolutely. He's in the pits now, serving his mandatory pit stop. You must change your tyres, even if it's a wet race. Those tyres have still got to be changed, which is a shame. But he's in at the moment. Hopefully he's not got any damage. Don't see why he should have. Where's Overtaker in all this? He's coming into... He's turn one. He's got job done on Lily Allen. Lily Allen is moving. Where's Ripper? Why's Ripper? Ripper's
he's right on the rear wing.
Right on the rear wing of Overtaker as they climb back up the hill for the Ripper trying to look to the outside. It's normally goes wrong when someone tries to overtake in that corner. He backs out of it, slips back in behind.
It feels
but
like
he's certainly got the pace.
Feels like Sati Apex and myself all over again last night. But Overtaker, obviously being in the gigantic Bentley, has the advantage and track position. So all Overtaker really needs to do is stay in front of Ripper up and down the mountain, and then use his grunt out of the final corner and try and stay ahead of the Audi. So he's really just got to make sure he nails Hell Corner and Forest Elbow, and he should be able to keep the Audi behind him. Meanwhile, Jay is pulling away from Tech Leader quite comfortably, 2.5 now ahead of Tech Leader, and Euro now opts to pit, so it won't be a Ferrari 1, 2 and 3 no longer. So where would Jay feed out of all this? Now he's got some clean air. Can he get some decent running behind him, while Overtaker and Ripper are too busy scrapping with one another?
Well, there's a good point. Do we... I can't see the lap. When they come across the line, the lap times come up, don't they? I don't know what sort of lap times Overtaker and Ripper are doing.
Well, I can tell you quickly with the tables. You go on the timetable and you select the driver. Last lap, Ripper did the fastest lap. He did a 2:06.4 was his fastest lap. If we look to then Jay, as Ripper tries to creep onto the back of Overtaker, Jay's last lap was a 2:07.2, so he's on similar pace to the guys behind him.
Away. Yeah.
But how hard are these two are going to race one another? Jay really could do with Overtaker defending like a champion, and these two just getting a little bit squirrely by the looks of things as they cross the start-finish line. They should jump Euro quite comfortably, and he was just sitting behind those two. He's gone green now. Where's Louis Allen? He will go past them as well. So the man to keep an eye on is Jay. He's got clean air, all on his own. The only thing that can stop him now is himself. He's a little bit slidey, going through the dipper. Jesus, whoa. So he's really pushing it, but Overtaker and Ripper are going for it now as they head up towards Quarry Bend once again and up towards the cutting.
Yes, indeed, they're still within very close contact. Ripper could almost put his hand out and touch the back of Overtaker as they climb up the hill once again. Yeah, Jay's got to keep it all together. I don't think he's quite got the ultimate pace to be able to beat these two, but let's see how they get on as the race unfolds. We're halfway through already.
We are halfway through, and all it takes is Overtaker just have a moment, and him and Ripper will be slowed down massively, and Jay is then in the pound seat. So he's really got to trust his strategy here. He's going long with Tech Leader, so they know that the top three still yet to pit, and they can pit right up to the very last lap if they dare. But right now, Ripper is being held up by Overtaker. If they're even doing 2:08s, Jay will be over the moon with that, because that's going to allow him to focus on his lap times. But it's close between them. Meanwhile, Peaceful has got himself ahead of Exit Tips, and Nexus in the chat has just said, my brakes were overheating, I lost it.
Yeah, so the Jaguar giving up on its brakes. Unfortunate for him, because he was going really well.
He was indeed. They now head down towards the chase. The gap's all just spreading out a little bit. That's the fun of the pit stops. But Ripper, meanwhile, gets right on the rear wing of the Bentley.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. He is certainly all over him like a cheap suit at the moment as they come down into the last corner. This is an overtaking opportunity, but you've got to be a bit closer than that in the first place.
Oh, Overtaker goes a little bit wide. He goes defensive straight away. And while this is all happening they go slower and slower, and Ripper's going to try all the way around the outside of turn one, and it's not done there. He's trying to get better grip, better traction. The Audi has got better traction in the Bentley at times, but right now, Overtaker planted it on the apex, did a Jason player, and just stopped Ripper from getting alongside him as they head up towards Corrie corner once again, and it's going to be around the outside. Is Ripper going to be brave enough to do it?
No. It's Ripper tried to set Overtaker up on the first corner, and Overtaker came right onto the inside, but Ripper couldn't get the car to the inside quick enough. Overtaker was already there to stop him getting the overlap. It's Ripper's very good at that. As I said, we had some fun at Donny Park, and as I said, I'm known for defending, but he lured me into that inside line and then cut back and got the car to the inside and got the overtake done. That's what he tried with Overtaker, but Overtaker was smart enough to defend that one.
Well, right now, the leaders aren't doing enough as Overtaker and Ripper are matching them at the minute. Louis Allen managed to stay ahead of Euro after the pit stops, so there is a yellow flag just behind. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
That is the start, finish straight. That is Smokey Devil. He is stopped on track, and I'm not sure why.
You're right.
So Jay's coming to the pit, so he's opted to pit now as Tech Leader and Paulo decide to carry on. Meanwhile, Overtaker and Ripper are still going at it as they now head towards Conrod Straight. I believe he might have a puncher or he might have wheel issues, I'm not sure.
He's moving again, but not very quickly.
Meanwhile, Ripper is right on the rear wing of Overtaker. He touches the grass.
Oh,
they made contact. They have touched. They've both gone off. Jay's in the pits. Now Ripper's waiting for him. He is waiting for Overtaker. Overtaker's got going. Jay hasn't gone green yet. Where is Overtaker? He's now coming into the final corner. Ripper is with him as well. Is Jay about to get dropped?
Moved.
He's about to go green. He's not moved, so even with those two tripping over each other, he's gone green now. So, what damage have these two got? He goes into turn. What? This is going to be very close. There is Overtaker. There is Ripper. There is Jay. On exit, Jay jumps these two. But due to them too busy tripping over one another, Jay is now your race leader. Or next race leader.
He has got lots of pressure now from behind him from both of these champions. It looks like Yam's going to have a go. Overtaker's going to have a go up into the corner. He gets out of it, gets all a bit squirrely on the curb, but he gets out of it. So Jay, as you said, because these two have tripped over each other, they've given Jay a massive opportunity of winning this race.
He's gone deep.
Well, no, he has gone deep. Cold tyres. But he's still got the inside line as they come up the hill. There is no room up there. He cuts across to Overtaker and makes it shuts the door on him, but he's all over the shop at the moment, trying to get some pressure into those tyres. The first half lap is hard going when you come out of the pits.
Overtaker was a bit unhappy with that. It flashed the lights. He thinks Jay cut his nose off as they were heading up the hill. But Jay is doing everything he possibly can. He's trying to beat these two titans that are too busy been fighting one another. They would easily have jumped him if they didn't have that moment at the chase. But Jay is struggling through the dipper as Overtaker clips the wall ever so slightly as Tech Leader now comes into the pits. So Tech Leader, meanwhile, was only 2 seconds behind Jay. So while Jay's been struggling on this lap, Tech Leader could be in the pound seat to take the lead overall once again.
Could be close, could be close. The pressure on Jay must be huge. He's got Overtaker right on his rear bumper and Ripper just behind him. And as they come down into the chase for the first time, Overtaker has a looker on the outside. Is he going to go around the outside of the chase? Jay defends it on the inside. Can he get it slowed down and into the apex? Yes, he can. Got it slowed down, was slow through there, but he held him up, and that's all he needed to do. Now Ripper is all over the back of Overtaker, and he's going to try and have a go on the outside. I don't think you're going to be able to... Oh, he outbrakes him. Does he? Does he? Yes, he goes round the outside, and I think Ripper has got... No, he gets a little bit squirrely as Overtaker gets the inside line back again as they come over the start-finish straight there, neck and neck, as they go into the braking zone. Overtaker's slightly slower on the brakes, and Ripper's finally got it done, and he's through.
He's finally got through, indeed, and meanwhile, after all that, Tech Leader doesn't really gain anything on any of them. He ends up just following behind them, and it's now 3.5 minutes left to go. Overtaker will not be wanting Ripper to overtake him like that again, so he'll want to try and find a way back past the Audi. He's only got a small amount of time, and obviously with Jay in front of him in the Ferrari, it is going to back the pack up even more. And while all this has been going on, Louis Allen has crept back onto Tech Leader, and Paulo has come out of the pits as well. He is behind Exit Tibbs, who's not had the best race here, but it is the fight between the top three. Jay on the verge of his first ever win in Pro, the only driver other than Ripper and Overtaker to do so. Can he do it here on the mountain? That is the question.
Well, let's hope so. He's only got 3 minutes to keep it all together, and that could depend how the clock clicks down, of course, on how many laps he's going to do. Overtaker goes wide.
Yeah, he's had a moment down S's there.
Keeps it all together. That's where I lost it. I had to go wide there, and there's some bumps down through there, and they unsettle the car. Something rotten.
It does indeed. Meanwhile, Gary is he's had a moment somewhere. He's got damage on the rear end of his car. So now it is spread out ever so slightly. So Jay still leads this race. We will have probably the final lap as he crosses the line in a few moments time, but it is Jay leading the way with Ripper in second. Overtaker is third. Tech Leader has dropped back. He's got damage. Yes. So that's allowed Louis Allen, Euro, and Peaceful Explosion all through. And Louis Allen is going to be starting to have pressure from Euro towards the end of this race. Jay has got... We have missed something there, but Jay has got one more lap. He has got to try and negotiate the mountain one more time, and he'll get his first ever win in the Pro category. But he has got Ripper hunting him down.
Yes, indeed. 1 lap to go for Jay's first win in the Pro. He must be feeling the pressure. Something rotten again. If these two hadn't made a mistake, they would have been well up the road from Jay. But this is the way it goes. This is the way things happen. Jay's been given an opportunity. Hopefully he can keep it all together.
Tech Leader's in the pits. Tech Leader has got major damage, and he's ended up back in the pits. Meanwhile, Nexus, meanwhile, is looking on a move on Gary, and Gary's got no straight line speed, and through goes Nexus, no problem. Sector 1 is pretty much done. Jay is still leading the gap, 1.2 at the minute. They come through the sector time. It is 1 second. This is where Ripper's been so fast. The middle sector, if he gains all of his time here, he'll just have to try and attack him in the chase.
Yes, indeed. I think that's going to be his only chance, to be fair. As long as Jay can keep his line, keep him defended. It's... Oh, God, looked like Jay was very close to the wall there. It's a very, very difficult track to overtake, but it's also a very easy track to make a mistake. And Jay must be absolutely, absolutely, I don't know, about to explode. Yeah, about to explode, I was going to say, with pressure, because he's got the Ripper right up behind him now. If he gets a good exit, hold him on the apex, hit the accelerator hard. Down up through the gears.
he did exactly
It's
what he needs to
close.
do in the final corner. He's got a fantastic
It's
exit
close.
as they now come down towards the final part of the track. Jay's just going to hang in there, but the
Stay in
Audi's
the
got
middle,
very
Jay.
good straight line speed. He's going to force him to the outside. He's going to fight for all of his might. Would Ripper really want to fight this out with a car that's not
yes.
really in the champion? He's going to send it down the inside of Jay. Jay hangs in there,
sits
but
out
he's
there.
not. He's going to get the traction. Ripper still on the inside. It is close. Overtaken nowhere near this is Ripper versus Jay towards the line. Ripper looks like he's got the advantage. Jay's hanging in there. He's going to go around the
not
outside.
yet.
Is he going to get the traction to the line? It's Ripper.
Oh, wow, that was close. Oof, 0.0042. Oh, Jay, I feel for Jay, I really do.
I do as well. Overtaker coming home in P3. P4 goes where Louis Allen. Peaceful gets 5th in the end. Euro gets 6th. Tibbs is going to come home for 7th place, with Paulo coming home in 8th. That's going to give Nexus the P9. But Jay, what a drive from him. Just on the last lap that Ripper managed to pip him to the end. Tech Leader is going to finish last in this one, but it is Nexus in 9th. Gary 131 will finish in 10th. Smoky Devil will finish in 11th. And Tech Leader will finish in 12th. As I'm going to rewatch that replay once again, because that was a dramatic end to that one. A fantastic race in there between the top two. Jay and Ripper really going for it at the end, and Ripper bided his time, and here we go. We got the replay now, and he just took his time, and like Ripper does, he's patient. He figured things out perfectly, and he comes towards the chase. Braved it out on the outside. Jay gave him the space and respect. They went into the chase. A slight bit of contact, but nonetheless, Audi versus Ferrari, and it is the Audi that came out on top. But a fantastic drive nonetheless from Jay.
Yes, indeed. As I said, I feel for him. You know, he did it as much as he could, and great respect there, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Down through the chase, that's the fastest part of the circuit, and you know, they both braked on their marks. They were both respectful. Yeah, good clean racing. That's the way it's done.
It is indeed, and we are still waiting for Tech Leader to finish his race. I will get the tables up to date, but wow, a fantastic drive there from Jay, and obviously Ripper once again showing why he is the champion, and he really had to work for that one though, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I was just watching the replay. I can't see it until it comes up on the stream for everyone else. I'm about 30 seconds behind, and I was just watching it again. And as I said, total respect, both drivers. Love it. Good driving, good driving.
Well, that is it for the sprint race. Ripper takes the win from Jay in 2nd, and then Overtaker in the 3rd place. We'll be back in a few moments' time, as we will have the feature race and qualifying ready for you after this short break. We will see you in a few moments' time.
Go over to Audio Sport on YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe. I could do with the subscribers, please. Thank you.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. all in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. Golden. Yeah. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. We are getting underway for the qualifying session for the feature race, and the heavens have opened. We have got a wet track, so we shall see the track getting a lot slower. But nonetheless, it was a very exciting sprint race. Jay just missing out on his first win in the Pro, thanks to the man who's currently out on track right now. Ripper stealing that win away. Right, championship standings looks like this. Ripper still leads the way. He's got now 30 points over Overtaker in second place. Fury is now in P3 with Peaceful Explosion 5 points behind him. So if Fury doesn't turn up, Peaceful Explosion could possibly go ahead of him and hold P3. Meanwhile, Jay is up into P5. He's had a big jump of points, and he is now not a million miles away from the back of Peaceful Explosion. Obviously, Fury not here as well. He could score some decent points on Fury also. Matejovich sitting in P6 with Tech Leader sitting in P7, while Gary131 is sitting in P8. Exit Tibbs is P9 with P10 looking the way of Nexus. Euro is in P11 with Smoky Devil P12. Louis Allen is in 13th with Green Wolfinator in 14th. And Plava in 15th with Paulos is in 16th. Shane in 17th, 18th. Ben Bath 19th. Breeze and T bringing up the rear. Regarding the manufacturers, it's Teletubby Motorsport leading the way with Killer Performance in second. Flying Potatoes have now moved up to P3, but Killer Performance moved up to P2, while Jaeger loses out on both places and has dropped to P4. SimPlay Racing sitting in P5 with Titan Euro sitting in 6th with 7th Hot Wheels Racing. 8th is JWB Esports Racing. Regarding the manufacturers, Bentley still lead the way with Audi in 2nd, Ferrari in 3rd, McLaren in 4th, Honda in 5th, then it's Porsche, Lexus, Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, Lamborghini, Nissan, and the Retia.
Connection.
We have just had. We've just lost the connection to the session. In a few moments' time, we will go to a quick break a minute while we get this all sorted out. So we'll be with you in a few moments' time.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. And like I said, we just had an issue with the server. It has been updated and reset once again. And the guys are currently out doing their 20-minute qualifying session. But Kelly, the session's changed again. It was wet, and it was meant to. Oh, we got server issues again.
Yeah,
I think
looks like it's going to crash again.
Yeah.
Just crashed. Honestly, it's got more crashes than an AM event.
I think it was more of a GT4 event.
GT4, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. Well, we'll quick look at the Aston Martin and a quick chat of SimPlay Motorsport while we are away. Race time was wrong. I had to reset this. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Peaceful got the settings wrong. So, we'll be back racing in a minute. But we'll have a moment to look at this beautiful Aston Martin that's on the screen. Next race of this... on my screen.
On your screen, yeah, I can't see it yet.
It should be popping up in a minute. Just resetting until we get greasy again.
Oh, that beautiful Aston. Oh, look at those beautiful colours. That would be Team Audio Sport, would it not? Audiosport.co.uk. If you want to go over to Audio Sport, it's audiosport.co.uk, as I just said, or join me on Instagram, maybe, on Audio Sport Cal. Go on Instagram and search Audio Sport Cal. Or better still, go on YouTube and give me a subscriber, more subscribers. We did that just before the break, didn't we? And do you know how many subscribers I got extra?
None.
You got it, absolutely right, none. So thank you, everyone, for your participation in helping my subscribers. I'll remember you lot when you need subscribers. But anyway, look at that beautiful colour. See, your Aston Martin and your Audi and that Aston Martin looks so much better in the Audio Sport colours than my McLaren. And I'm feeling like a change of car very soon. And I'll take any suggestions from the chat, anybody who, if you think of, I like a car that's well planted, easy to drive, doesn't have to be the quickest, but does have to be stable. Any suggestions?
Well, you're looking at it.
Anyone? Well, Aston Martin, you reckon?
Yeah, beautiful car.
Maybe. Yeah, beautiful car, maybe, but is it going to be the one for me? What about the Lexus? Isn't the Lexus supposed to be quite solid?
Yeah, the Lexus is a very good car. Peaceful in the chat says, "Don't forget the other sponsor." Which the other sponsor is
the other sponsor's not sitting in the commentary box, is he? So,
well, in that case, I will do the work for him. Have a look at Design Manchester.
You can't do that.
I'm doing it for him. He's doing the server for us. He's sorting it out. Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics and laser engravements on mugs, gifts, and printed clothing as well.
Have you read that?
Yeah, I've just read that.
Are you reading that?
Yeah, I'm reading that. There's also like Audio Sport, manufacturer of VW Transporter T4 audio solutions and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk. And also there's links to the Facebook as well, just for Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. So head over to them if you want any fantastic products in engravement gifts for Christmas coming up, or if you fancy just styling your T4 with some fancy door pockets for your speaker set and making your van sound absolutely banging, and head over to Audio Sport because they will supply you some brilliant speaker pods
and speakers. But yes, why are we still looking at your Aston Martin? Because we're back qualifying.
Are we all reset and the server's all good now? Are we?
Yeah, I'm just watching Jay coming round to start his first flying lap. The weather has stabilised now. We did have it going wet to a bit drier. We did have it going wet to a lot wetter. Now we've got just wet to wet, by the looks of it. So that might have settled things quite nicely. That's certainly what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes or so. So probably this level of rain is what we're going to get, certainly, as I said, for the next 30 minutes or so.
And I'm back in. Hello.
Yay, hi.
Okay, we are all back into the session. Everything is now correct. We are looking at Gary 131's Porsche 911. Oh, sorry, 991. That's the one it is. And it is wet, like you said, Kelly.
911.
991.
Oh, 991. I thought you said 911. That is a 911. But yeah. Right, 991.
991. The 991.
Yeah.
So we are back into the server, and we have got a few more people in the chat. We have got Peaceful Explosion, obviously trying to sort out the lobby. We've got Fury's Grandad in the chat as well.
Hello, Tony.
And we've also got Kashanyika as well, as Gary's had a big moment in the wall. I believe Kashanyika has had issues with his pedals. I believe he runs like I think he's got like some form of like really high-tech Fanatec pedals that once the pedals do go, they're very tricky to fix and replace. So he's currently missed a few rounds due to pedal problems, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Tech Leader is currently on a lap. No, they're all invalidated at the minute. I think there's only one person who is actually on a valid lap time, and I think
Jay's coming round just to finish his lap. We'll see if I can't see if he's invalidated or not on my screen, but he's just come over the line and he hasn't posted a time, so maybe.
So for you, Kelly, to understand which is a validated or invalidated lap is you see the track map on the right hand side. If they are blue, that means the lap time is invalidated, so it will not count. If they are grey, then it is a valid lap time. And Ripper in the wet conditions does a 2:08.1.
He's some boy, this Ripper, isn't he? He's a little Ripper. Mate.
Little Ripper indeed.
Little Ripper, mate, in Australia.
I think that was pretty atrocious, Australian.
That's because I'm more used to New Zealand.
Oh, God. As Paulo now comes towards the line, Overtaker 3.1. He's a bit off the pace, as is Paulo. He goes 7.1. Now Tibbs now goes P2. He's 2 seconds off the pace. As the next car on our lap time is up in the mountains. That is the Jaguar of Nexus. Let's see how he gets on. I think now is who's going to just stay out of the wall, I think.
Yes, indeed. I'm on board with Jay at the moment. I think he's on a... what's Jay's numbers? 15? 15 on the track map? No, he's on an invalid lap as well. And he's just overdone it a little bit in the... what's the final... What's the hairpin before Conrod Straight?
That is Forest Elbow.
Forest Elbow, yeah. Messed it up at Forest Elbow. Went deep, didn't bother the apex at all. Went deep towards the wall. But as I said, he's not on a valid lap anyway. So he's still got 13 minutes. He's got plenty of time. Probably building pressure in the tyres quite nicely now.
Nexus now puts a lap time on the board. He goes P4. There is a car coming towards the line now. I believe that is Jay. He is on a valid lap time. So into the final corner he comes. Jay, can he take pole position away from Ripper? Or is Ripper just got a little bit more advantage around here? Jay towards the line. He goes P2.
Yeah. 1.6 off the pace. So got a bit to do if he wants to be on that pole position. But second place in a bad place to start.
It isn't indeed, as Ripper goes even faster. He does a 2:07.9 and goes to the top of
2:07.9.
Yeah, he's definitely finding the pace. Tech Leader is the next car on a valid lap time, as I will get a poll on the go for pole position. So get your votes in as well. And DJ Phil in the chat says you should try the Honda. That's a good car choice if you want to try next season. The song's called 991 More Than a Woman. Okay, whatever that is.
Absolutely no way on this planet I'm driving a Honda. I have a yard in the back of my house. I don't have grass. I don't need a Honda.
As Peaceful crosses the line, he goes P7. And the next car that is on a valid lap time, I believe, is Jay once again. You don't fancy a Honda, Kelly?
No, absolutely not. Do you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather eat my own arm.
Wow.
Yeah, than I have a Honda.
So even if the Honda was by far the fastest and the most best car on ACC, you still wouldn't drive it?
Mate, I don't care if it's gold-plated and dipped in chocolate. I ain't having it.
We've currently got 19 people watching the stream at the minute, so please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss a single thing here at SimPlay Motorsport. We've got a poll out at the minute on who you think is going to take pole position, so get your votes in on who you think. It's Overtaker, Jay, Ripper and Tech Leader as well, as we are on board with Jay as he heads towards the chase and then into Murray's corner, and he's got to make sure he nails the exit. And by the looks of things, this weather is staying as it is for most of this session and into the race as well, so we are pretty much stuck with these wet conditions as Jay comes into the final corner, tries to get on the power, tries to get good traction towards the line, no improvement.
Yes, indeed. I think you'll find what Phil was on about was the song 991. I thought it was 911. Anyway, More Than a Woman. Yes, terrible boy band that covered the classic Bee Gees' More Than a Woman.
As we are now on board with Euro, who's heading towards the chase, moving swiftly on.
Swiftly on.
I mean, I'm a massive I'm a massive boy band fan, as Kelly knows, but definitely 911 wasn't a good band. They were dreadful. No. Anyway, Euro towards the final corner, heading towards the Murray's corner. As he tries to make sure he has the best exit he possibly can. Gary ended up in the wall earlier on. So here's Euro. What lap time is he going to produce in the Ferrari? He goes P5. So it's a good lap time from him now. I believe it is Peaceful Explosion next on a valid lap time. He's currently 4.4. Paulo slower than him at the minute. Peaceful to the line. He now goes P5. It's very close in that mid-pack at the minute, Kelly.
Yeah, good effort, and he lost a bit of time in the chase. Was a bit hesitant on the final on the left hand bit. Got up on the curb a little bit, so there's definitely time in that car for Peaceful. He needs to just find it. I'm watching Gary, who's the back end of that Porsche is all over the place. He's not on a valid lap at the moment, building up to do one. Still got time yet. Still got 9 minutes, so yeah, it's all good.
Tibbs now goes P2, 1.1 off the back of Ripper. So the track seems to be improving ever so slightly by the looks of things. But Overtaker, meanwhile, is sitting in P7 and he needs to get a lap time on the board.
Gary's round. Sorry, Gary's in the wall at the top of the hill. Got it up on the curb and has just tapped the front corner. So that's another bit of damage he's going to carry on that car. I liked it, the wetter it got last night, Dan. When we started last night, it was very wet. And I much preferred it. I thought the car was much better as Gary taps the wall again, having an absolute nightmare with that Porsche as he is round in that corner I couldn't name earlier. Some elbow.
Forest elbow. Jay didn't improve. He stays P3. Overtaker towards line. He only goes P3.
Yes,
so Tibbs looking very good. Yeah, definitely indeed. But Tibbs, in your favourite car, the Honda, sitting in P2 at the minute. So make sure you tune in next season because Kelly will be running the Honda next season.
He will not be running a Honda. He will not be running a Honda. I'd rather run a Robin Reliant.
A Yamaha?
I might do better in that, to be fair.
It's a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car.
It's front-engine three-wheel car, but there you go. There's still between me and Lando Norris for the first win in the McLaren, and neither one of us can make it happen.
Euro crossing the line. He does not improve. He stays P6. Ripper towards the line. Is he going to improve on his gap? No, he stays where he is for a minute. I don't know why I'm saying for a minute. It's going to take a Titanic of a lap to get to the front. As Smoky Devil is finally on a bad lap time, and he goes P7. So, who has really got the pace to take it to Ripper at the minute? It is Tibbs, by the looks of things, is the closest threat. And I think the Ferraris all look very good as well, but they just need to get that lap together.
Yes, indeed, you're quite right, Dan. It's putting it all together. I think there's time to be had, but it's just hooking up that perfect lap, isn't it? Getting all those apexes right, getting the best braking point, good on traction. And all those things to try and make it happen, and yeah, it's so difficult, especially in these conditions.
The votes away still going the way of Overtaker. There is 5 votes go on at the minute, and majority of them have been Overtaker. So get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position here. But at the minute, it is Ripper still on pole position. Tibbs hasn't come back out yet. He's still in the pits. Is he waiting for the track to dry out a bit more? Obviously, with the cars out there more often, water is being splashed out the way and the track is drying out and it's just getting more and more grip as more cars go around. So is he possibly waiting for that last lap to just nail it right at the end?
Either that or he's checking his Instagram.
Possibly so. He's quite quite a young lad, so he's probably updating his TikTok or something. I don't
TikTok,
know.
yeah, TikTok, and What's the other one? Snapchat.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. Ripper is heading towards the chase. He's currently on a 2:07.9. Is this going to be even faster? Just before we get to the end of qualifying, Kelly, next round of the season is going to be Spooky Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
Every single time we've ever been to Laguna Seca, something odd or strange or weird happens, and we still don't know to this day what happens with Laguna. That's why we call it Spooky Laguna. As Ripper improves, it does a 7.6. Laguna Seca, let's get your opinions on the circuit. Best American circuit, or is there a better one?
Best American circuit. Let me come back to that statement of best American circuit. For me, always gone quite well there. Took a race win back in the Project Cars days around Spooky Laguna. It was more spooky on Project Cars because Project had more glitches than ACC, but things tend to happen for us at SimPlay at Spooky Laguna. For me, I like driving it because I usually do quite well. Do I like it as a track? Not particularly. Wouldn't get overly excited about watching any kind of race on that track, but usually go quite well myself. So, yeah. Best American track. Well, American tracks are just normally rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Most of them are, bar two I can think of, but other than that... I mean, obviously, my opinion on Laguna is very similar to yours. It seems to go well there, but it's a circuit that doesn't really excite me. It's not a challenge. Well, it is a challenging circuit, just a corkscrew alone. But it never really excites me. It's not one of the first circuits that come to mind, especially when I think of America. Obviously, the first ones that come to my mind is COTA is one of them. Road America, Long Beach, Sonoma.
Long Beach, Long Beach. Quite like Long Beach. Long Beach would probably be my favourite American. Some of the oval ones I used to do really quite well at. We don't have those tracks on ACC, but on Project I used to go well in. Daytona Road.
Yep, Daytona
and Indianapolis Road Course.
Indianapolis is actually on ACC on the PS5 and PC version. Right. So Indianapolis is a track you can drive. As Ripper comes towards the final corner now, any improvements? No. As Overtaker is also the next one on about a lap time.
Yeah, he's just coming.
The ones that we used to race was Texas. The ones we used to run was Texas Motor Speedway, and obviously the home of SimPlay, which was Daytona. Overtaker finds it's just a 10th behind Tibbs now. I think Tibbs is done. I don't think he can improve any better than that. So he's gone, you know what? That's me done.
Kick back, have a beer. Well, that's as good as I can do.
Yeah, so technically across the line, he doesn't improve either. The next one on about a lap time is Euro. Jay not quite able to get ahead of Overtaker, but I think he is also done. I don't see those two coming out anytime soon. But the one I always used to like, Kelly, was Sonoma. Was one of my all-time favourites of American circuits. So it's a shame that we don't. Project Cars did offer some fantastic circuits that we used to go to. Yeah. Some weird and wonderful circuits as well. Eurocross design, he stays P7. So
what about Willow Springs? I used to quite like that as well, actually.
Yeah, Willow Springs was okay. I preferred Watkins to Willow Springs.
Yeah, Watkins. Yeah. What am I thinking? Yeah, Watkins Glen. Yeah, now that's... that might be my favourite American track. You know, Watkins.
And again, there was...
quite fun.
There was four tracks that were added to the ACC package, which were all American tracks. One was Indianapolis, then it was also Circuit of the Americas, and Watkins Glen was another one that was added to the ACC package. So on PS5 and PC, if you have the American DLCs, you can drive all three of those tracks and enjoy them for their fantastic American glory. It's a shame we ain't got the Las Vegas circuit, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, because that's what we need is another Mickey Mouse circuit.
another street circuit to go with the likes of Mount Panorama and so on and so forth.
Would we put them in the same sentence, Mount Panorama and Las Vegas? Well, I'm looking forward to watching the F1 coverage this weekend, but do we think it's going to be a good track? There you go, maybe a discussion point.
Maybe indeed. As the overtaker comes into the final corner, and right now Ripper's still leading the way, but is it getting to the point that these guys can't find any more time? Overtaker still no improvement. I believe it's Smoky Devil now towards the line. He doesn't improve. A lot of these guys don't seem to be going any quicker at the minute, as we have got Tech Leader now coming into the final corner. Any improvement? No, he stays P6. Nexus, any improvement? He finds time, but he doesn't go any higher than where he is at the minute. And then Paulo in the McLaren towards the line. He goes ahead of Louis Allen and goes into P10. And we go back to the top of the list, and it is overtaker Ripper who is leading away. There is a car in front of him. That is Gary 131, I believe. Yes, it is. So yeah, Gary he ain't getting a lap in. He's got out the way, and Ripper carries on through.
Gary's done, I think. Well, he is done. He isn't going to improve.
Obviously, looking at the grid order at the minute, Tibbs has really been the only one really to give Ripper a threat here in these wet conditions. Who's looking, in your eyes, Kelly, the best to really take the fight to Ripper in this next race?
Quite well, on pace alone, nobody. Because I mean, look at it. He's 1.4 seconds. Overtaker's just stuffed his car into the wall. He's got nothing left. He's done. Tibbs is done. On pace alone, no one's going to touch him, are they? It's going to be how the race pans out, really. Jay had a fantastic first race. Overtaker was some great defending, but once Ripper got in front of him, he didn't really have an answer for him. Exit Tibbs, had a strong first part of the last race, but I don't know, Dan. I don't know. I think Ripper's, unless somebody can throw it up the inside in turn one, I think this is another Ripper win coming our way, I think.
Well, he comes to the line now. It's just, he finds a couple of hundredths as well, just to rub salt into the wound. So he does go a little bit faster. So Tech Leader is then the next man on a lap time, and then it is Paulo to complete qualifying. But at the minute, Ripper is going to add a point to his name because he will take pole position here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. So far, he is leading the way of King of the Mountain. And we come into the final sector now for Tech Leader towards the line in the Ferrari. Can he find a bit more time? No, he stays P6. So once again, it is Ripper on top. Peaceful in the chat says was up 1.2 up, going down to the elbow and caught the wall. Gutted, says Peaceful.
That's how the cookie crumbles. It's Bathurst is a unique challenge, and you can have the most brilliant lap and just one corner messes it right up.
Indeed, it does. So that is the poll done. I know I should have ended that ages ago, but most of you will overtake.
How do I get the map off the centre of my screen? It's in the centre of my screen. How do I move that, Dan?
Scroll up to the top, and there should be an arrow that points up. If you press the arrow, it'll then point down, and everything changes back to how it should be.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Lovely. Now, who should we follow? Gary's at the back. Ripper at the front. So it's Ripper on pole. Tibbs in second, who's got the outside line into turn one. Which would you prefer? I mean, I suppose Ripper can choose his spot, can he?
Yeah, he has until the penultimate corner to decide which side he wants to start. Everyone else then has to fall into a line. So he chooses whether he wants the inside or the outside.
What did you take last night? You took the inside, didn't you?
I took the inside, yeah.
Thought you'd have a better run from the inside?
Not necessarily. I just thought the inside would be better to defend turn one. Yeah, that's the only real reason. You could have the outside and have the racing line, but it all depends on.
Someone gets a run up the inside of you, isn't it? That's
yeah.
It's probably it's probably better the inside line, as I said. Someone gets a run, and the way the lights go. The more we talk, the more I miss Project Cars. Because I like the standing start as well. I used to do quite well with a standing start, and these rolling starts are a bit unpredictable about what sort of launch you're going to get, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. And the thing that's going to really upset Overtaker as well is the fact that there's a car between him and Ripper of Tibbs. Although he's going to be starting right behind Ripper, the formation app and the rolling start would be able to get him as close as he can to Ripper and hopefully jump Tibbs just before the start of the race. But it's all about timing with this start to the race. There is a small window when it says initialize and when they go green, so they can try and guess when it's going to go green, but sometimes you can hit the limiter and bog down.
Yes, exactly. It's a random it's a random time, and as you say, you can hit the accelerator, race initialize, and be quits in. Other times it can just go horribly wrong. As I said, I do miss a standing start. It was a good opportunity to make serious places off the start, where it's difficult to make serious places on the start on a rolling format like we have here on ACC.
As it is Ripper who starts on pole position. Tibbs will start alongside him on the front row. Row 2 will be the way of Overtaker and Jay, your P2 man, nearly taking his first win in the pro category. Row 3 will be the way of Smoky Devil and Tech Leader. Row 4 is Peaceful Explosion and Euro, with row 5 being Nexus and Paulo in 10th place. Row 6 will be Louis Allen, and bringing up the rear is Gary 131, and I'm pretty sure Matt will not be enjoying what he sees here tonight as Gary tries to catch up to the back of the pack because Gary's having a difficult night's worth of racing here at Bathurst, and I think he'll be I think he'll be looking forward to saying goodbye to this track and heading to Laguna in his Porsche. But we will see how they all get on. Obviously, this is one of our different time zoned races. It doesn't look very different, but we are in an early morning race. Obviously, Laguna Seca will be a normal timed race as always, midday. Then we head to Suzuka, which is an evening race. And then we head towards Nürburgring, which will be our only night race of the season. And then we finish things off at Misano, and again, a normal midday race as well. And that will be the season done. Regarding the PS5 League, if you have signed up as well, then you'll be lucky to know that we are going to 3 Italian circuits and 2 British circuits. So for the PS5, we will be heading to Monza for the first race of the season, which is this Sunday. Then it will be Imola for round 2. Round 3 will be Donington Park. Round 4 will be Snet, and round 5 will be Silverstone. I got that wrong. That's 2 Italian circuits and 3 British tracks. That's what I meant. Right.
Gosh. Do we know what the weather is for Laguna next week already? God, no more rain, please. No more rain. We've had weeks of it.
I honestly do not know, so I'm hoping as
California,
well that
so it's unlikely.
It's unlikely to be wet, but no, in America it does do some odd things. I mean, we're going to be going. The Formula One are going to Las Vegas in the middle of the desert, and the race is at night, and it's going to be stone cold. So who knows?
Could be interesting this weekend. That could,
It could be indeed. Suzuka is possibly wet as well. Yes, I did get it wrong, PN. Thank you for reminding me. Sati in the chat as well. Good to hear the duo back this evening, peeps. And nice to see Sati in the chat. He won. He won in the last night in the Bathurst race. I felt bad taking his record away, so I gave him his win back. But Peaceful says it's dry, so that's good. Laguna is going to be dry.
Excellent. That's good to hear. I want to work on my tan.
Me too. I want to get the Prolapse bikini back out. Anyway, we're into the final corner, and it is Ripper on pole. We're going to go on board with Smoky Devil. He's going to start in right behind the 2 championship contenders. It is Honda versus Audi on the front row. Japan versus Germany, and we are green here in Australia for the feature race here at Mount Panorama. And Tibbs looking to try and go around the outside of Ripper, but he gets a poor exit, struggles to get going, and Peaceful Stepdad said possibly snowing. Meanwhile, Jay is right alongside Overtaker, but with those two getting a lovely strip seam off the back of Ripper. Ripper has had to go defensive as Tibbs is going to opt to go around the outside of turn 2. He's going to run out of time because Ripper will get up to temperature, up to pressure, and he'll be gone. Overtaker down the inside. He gets past. Jay has a look as well, but he hasn't got quite the legs on the Honda.
No, he hasn't quite. And yeah, that was tense up the hill there. They were all in very close contact. I thought Jay was going to put the moves on Tibbs as well into that corner, and has a little knock onto the wall, which unsettled his car a little bit. Smokey's all over the back of him as well, and Tech Leader as they come up the hill for the very first time. And it's normal play resumed again. Its overtaker is just behind Ripper, but I think Ripper's got the legs, you know, on overtaker, and I think he's going to pull away, but we will watch closely on that one.
Over Smoky Devil's done. Jay, meanwhile, at the top of the mountain, so Jay's now dropped the place. He's now behind the BMW of Smoky Devil. Jay's becoming a little bit of a chili train at the minute, because now Tech Leader wants to try and find a way past. Peaceful's right behind him, and as is Nexus as well. Euro's in this fight.
Oh, Jay's off.
Jay is off, and he's gone wide. He's allowed Tech Leader through. Is he going to allow Peaceful Explosion through? Yes, he is. The Jaguar of Nexus is not close enough. Meanwhile, your race leader is long gone into the distance. He's got a healthy gap of 1.2 over Overtaker. Tibbs is hanging there in P3, but Smoky Devil is in P4, and is now Tech Leader, and Peaceful is going around the outside of Chase.
Side by side. Oh, it's right side by side through the chase. Peaceful gives room, and he gets through. He's got the job done.
Tech's off. Tech Leader's off.
Whoa.
Jay's missed his brakes, and he's gone straight on as well.
Peaceful's been hit.
Peaceful's been hit by Nexus. Euro goes through. Jay comes back on. A bit of unsafe rejoin there. Goes right into the path of Euro. Gary 131, meanwhile, picks them all off, other than Euro, and he is now up into the top end of these positions. But Peaceful Explosion caught by Nexus there, and major damage to those cars possibly. But Smoky Devil gets away with all this, and it's all a bit sloppy there. It's Gary 131's now up to 7th. Louis Allen is 8th after being at the back, and Paulo's 9th. Nexus drops to 10th. Tech Leader is in 11th, and Peaceful drops to the back of the pack. Tech Leader's gone, Nexus has gone very wide, and all these guys just struggling in these wet conditions. Meanwhile, Tibbs is harassed in the back of Overtaker.
He's keeping him honest, isn't he? Tibbs is keeping him very honest, and Ripper's not off into the distance yet. He's 1.7 ahead, but he's not driving off into the distance. Overtaker goes very deep, misses the apex by a country mile. Tibbs is there waiting to attack, keeping him, as I said, very honest. And Smoky Devil not a million miles away from that, to be fair.
Smokey also just behind them as well. BMW seems to do relatively well in the wet, no matter what kind of division it is. So Smokey proving that again. Euro's had a moment on the curb, and Jay's in the wall. He's in the wall at the top of the mountain. Is Gary going to want? He's not going to get through there as Gary touches the curb and has a moment. That's going to allow Louis Allen to have a sniff of an opportunity. Paulo's still in 9th, watching all this go on. Tech Leader has still got Peaceful hunting him down, but meanwhile, Gary's right on the back of Jay. Jay hits him. Oh God.
Gary gave him a little nudge from behind, and Jay returned the service, I think.
Jay's got major damage. Yeah, he's got major damage.
I wouldn't be surprised if he picked that damage up all on his own in the first lap, you know, because after he touched the wall, it's just been all over the place ever since, really. I think he may have picked that damage up early doors, you know.
Tibbs had a big wiggle going down towards the chase. He's still catching Overtaker mine. He's got within 6/10 of him. He seems a little bit more confident up and down the hill. But Euro, meanwhile, has just disappeared from the rest of the pack. Gary's in 6th. Obviously, Jay struggling with his start of the race antics. But his race 1 went brilliantly well, and race 2 has just gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, he's at the back. He's struggling just to keep it on the road now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to dive into, dives over the line, up and back again. I think he is really struggling just to keep that in a straight line, even at low speed. He's just struggling to get it into the pits. That's his race done, really. He's going to have big major damage, and he's going to have to pit again.
2 laps done, and Ripper is extending his gap. He's got a gap of 3.1 over Overtaker. Meanwhile, it's only 8/10 separating Overtaker and Tibbs, who's keeping Overtaker honest. Smokey's only 1.1 behind them. Euro, meanwhile, in kind of no man's land. He's currently P5. Gary 131.
Yeah, Lily Allen's just got up the inside of Gary 131, up into the hairpin up the hill. So I think Gary had a bit of a wobble, and Lily Allen made advantage of that. But Gary's back onto Lily Allen, not letting him get away. But Gary up on the curb.
That is brave. That's very brave touching the curb, especially going up and down the mountain. And
it's heart-stopping moments all over the place.
It is indeed. He's really struggling. Paulo's in the wall. Peaceful's got ahead of Paulo, so Paulo's had a moment there. He's now got Tech Leader right behind him. But I'll go back to the top 3, and it is still overtaken, hanging in there. He's actually put a little bit of a gap over Tibbs, so the top couple of cars here, second, third and fourth, all separated quite evenly out at the minute. But Gary, is he going to try and find a way back on Louis Allen? That is the question.
He's got to run out of the elbow, and he was closer on him in the elbow, but he doesn't seem to kind of have the traction. Looks like Lily Allen's in that. What's he in, the Honda?
Yes.
Looks like the Honda's got the traction and the straight line speed as he's pulling away down Conrod Straight as they come into the chase. He's on a nice little gap over Gary as they get down to the bottom there. Hard on the brakes through the chase. And Gary can't really close up through the chase either.
Nexus got really close to the back of Gary and then had a massive wiggle. Here goes Peaceful. He goes past the...
he's through, yes.
Tech Leaders had a moment at the chase as well, so all these boys just making little mistakes here and there. Tibbs back within 8/10 of Overtaker, but they've got Smokey within 8/10 of him as well. Peaceful is now starting to catch Gary 1 through 1 also. So all the battles are starting to come together, and then they'll all disappear when they all decide to pit.
Yes, indeed. Peaceful Explosion, as you said, is reeling in Gary. Gary's been struggling all evening in the Porsche. These two veterans of SimPlay, been there from the very start, and know each other really, really well, and raced each other for a long, long time. But Peaceful is reeling Gary in as they climb up the hill for whatever lap we're on.
Lap 4.
Lap 4.
It says lap 3, but lap 1 for some reason is lap 0, so a bit of a weird way that ACC works. There's some odd things that ACC does here. Oh, Tibbs! Oh, he just touches the grass as he gets within 4/10 of Overtaker. But meanwhile, Smokey Devil's right on the rear wing of Tibbs, and he's really braving out on the curbs. He's all over them like they're nothing.
Yep.
Gary's gone
wide. Yeah, he's gone wide and Peaceful's through. Nice and easy, thank you very much.
And Nexus had to go straight through the chicane just so he didn't hit Gary, because Gary was all over the shot. Gary's trying to keep it under control, but he's gone round. And Gary's nice goes from bad to worse. Paulo ends up in the wall also. But Smoky Devil now has really started to put the pressure on Tibbs. Tibbs went from being the hunter to being the hunted now. And he's got to try and attack and defend. But all these guys all struggling, while Ripper is 6 seconds down the road.
Yes, indeed. He's checked out in the front. Peaceful Explosion seems to be holding station with Liliana a little bit. Liliana's gone deep, taken out every single marker board towards the chase, and has gone straight on. As Peaceful goes up on the grass as well, collects it up, gets it back on the track. But Lily Allen, he went very deep, very, very deep.
We're going to have a problem now. Since Louis Allen's taken all those marker boards out, there's going to be no reference points for... There's going to be no reference point for braking zones now, so everyone's going to struggle going through there. Louis Allen drops to 7th place, so Peaceful Explosion, even though he ended up in all sorts of carnage at the start of the race, he has got himself up in the 6th place position, so he can't complain too much on that one. Meanwhile, Overtaker still under some immense pressure from Tibbs, but Nexus is the one who's looking to make a move now. He's on the rear wing of Louis Allen.
Yes, indeed. You're quite right, as I've just moved on to them. They're going up the hill again. See if Ben wants to have a look at it into this corner. It's brave if you want to try and do it. Oh, he closes right up on the brakes. Lily Allen, heavy on the brakes, slow into the corners. Wonder if he's struggling a little bit with struggling stuff.
Brilliant commentary there. Meanwhile, Nexus gets the undercut. He gets the undercut.
He's go the outside.
This is a brave move.
Yeah, he's done it as well, you know. That's Ben through.
As Louis Allen just clips the wall. You don't often see a move done there, especially in the wet as well. So Nexus, he's got big kahunas. Oh, Peaceful's in the middle of the track.
Yep.
Hello, Peaceful.
Lily Allen just turns in a bit too late. Oh, and there's carnage at the top of the hill now. Peaceful's round. That's Hugo. No, Tech Leader and Gary as well. Oh, and there's going to be another Lily Allen Gary crash. There is absolute chaos here at the top of the hill now, and that was all started by a slow-moving, peaceful explosion. Lily Allen come round and cut in just a little bit too early, clipped the front end, and he's all going to have damage. Tech leader is really slow, and he's got Paulie or whatever, he's behind him. He's moved out of the way. Paulie's gone through. Lily Allen's gone through. Where is Gary? And Gary comes through past Tech leader.
Peaceful's gone straight to the pits. He went straight to the pits. So he's gonna. Well, he hasn't retired as such, but he's just basically returned to the pit lanes to get repair done because he just could not get going. So Peaceful's returned back to the pits. But Gary's got major damage. Tech Leader's got major damage. Louis Allen has got damage. As
that turned all really badly, didn't it? There at the top of the hill.
It did indeed. Meanwhile, Tibbs is attacking Overtaker up into turn 2. So while all this has been going on, Tibbs has really been hustling the back of the Bentley.
Yes, he is. He's really close this time. But how quickly things can go wrong, especially on a track that's as narrow as this is. One person has an incident, you come round the corner, everyone comes around the corner, and they all have incidents. It's one of those tracks that stuff happens like that a lot. In real world as well, to be fair.
And especially on a circuit like this as well, it's very easy for things to go wrong. And Peaceful and PN both having a conversation in the chat, and Overtaker right now is still trying to extend that gap on Tibbs. Tibbs seems to got really close to him, and now he's in that dirty air kind of zone now where he's unable to get close to the back of Overtaker in this middle sector, and Overtaker just seems to have got himself into a little bit of a groove now and pull himself away from Tibbs.
Overtaker's no fool, is he? Do you know what I mean? He knows how to drive, he knows how to defend, he knows where he needs to be and where he needs to put the car. You know, Tibbs has got a huge challenge as the pit window is now closed. Open.
It's opened.
Yeah, it closes, yep. So, who's going to dive into the pits first and take advantage of that? Or are they going to go long? We're going to find out.
Well, Ripper is in the final corner, and he opts to stay out on track, as does Overtaker, and Tibbs. Smoky Devil does as well. And it's next Euro, who's 17 seconds behind Smoky Devil. And Euro's not really had any issues. He's just not been able to stick with the pace of the guys at the front. So Ripper, meanwhile, is way out in front. And let's find out what lap times Ripper is currently doing. Let's have a look. He has currently done a 2:08.9. His fastest is a 2:08.6. So if we then look at Overtaker's lap time, who is in the second place position, his best has been a 2:10.0. So,
well, he's under pressure, isn't he? And Ripper can just drive his own race, get into a groove where Overtaker is defending from Tibbs, who is been lurking on the back of him, well, most of the race, really. So,
Tibbs went for that opportunity at the start of the race to try and get Ripper. Overtaker then went down the inside and followed Ripper through, and ever since then, Tibbs has been faster, but he's just not been able to find his way past Overtaker. He's just waiting for that one mistake from Overtaker.
There's a few wobbles there for Overtaker as well. He's just balancing the back end of that car. Is he still running pad? He is still a pad user.
Pad runner. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, how does he do that?
God knows.
That baffles me, to be able to be that precise round a track like this on a pad. I don't get it.
It's definitely a skill indeed, as Tibbs is still trying to work his way and he needs to try and stick to him as close as he can in the middle sector, because it seems like the Honda does have the straight line speed down towards Comrade Straight and down towards the chase. As you can see now, he dropped back by quite a way, and now he's creeping ever so slowly on the Bentley. And as we get to the chase, he should be right back on the rear wing of Overtaker once again. And obviously with the breaker markers gone, everyone's got to try and figure out where they brake.
150 is the middle of the dip.
Well, there you go. Kelly was looking at the dip.
I wasn't watching. Well, marker boards were long gone.
Euro was the first one to pit, and he's come in. Paulo is in the pit, as is Gary 131. Tech Leader has obviously pitted outside of the pit window, so he'll need to come in again. Jay, meanwhile, is still a lap down to Tech Leader, so he'll have to come in at some point and do a pit stop. Or is no, he's not a lap down to tech leader. He's just quite a bit away off the back of the tech leader, but he is in P11. Gary's pit stop's taken a while as the rest of the guys come into the final sector. As Tibbs is again once.
What do we know about Tibbs? What do we know about him?
He's a young American.
Young
Formula
American,
One.
is he? Right. Okay. Right.
Loves his Formula One. He drove for Haas in our championship on the Formula One game.
Right.
Normally, Tracy is in the chat supporting his kid. He's quite a young driver. He's
What are we saying? Young, late teens, mid-teens.
I think he's 16, I believe.
16. We got a few young ones like that, haven't we, in the league?
We do, yeah. And
we
obviously
certainly got multinational. We got
there she
people
is
from all over the world.
There she is in the chat. There's Tracy.
Oh, hello, Tracy. Welcome to the chat. And that's Tracy's Tibbs' mum.
That is, I believe, yes.
Okay. Well, your boy's doing well tonight. He's racing like a champion and keeping Overtaker very, very honest at the moment.
He is indeed, and he's just waiting for that one opportunity, and hopefully Tibbs can get that opportunity. Maybe in the pit stops he can maybe use the undercut or overcut. We'll see how he gets on, but right now this is your closest fight, as Ripper is just long gone into the distance.
Yeah, nearly 10 seconds away now as these two are fighting each other.
Again, Smoky Devil's not a million miles away. He's just 2 seconds. He just can't quite stick with these two at the minute. Louis Allen has just come out of the pits. He's just behind Euro, who's also just a little bit up the road. Tech leader still yet to pit. Gary has pitted and he's back out on track. But Jay and Peaceful all coming to blows earlier on, and they've got a lot of work to do now. As Overtaker has had a pretty interesting first corner, and now Tibbs once again right on the rear wing.
Very little space to overtake here. It's tricky up into this corner as well, but he's certainly giving Overtaker a hard time. He looks to the outside, going to try and put it together on the outside, but Overtaker's got the line, just keeps it there on the apex, keeps his line smooth. Tibbs has to jump back in behind.
I'll tell you what, me and Tibbs did race together on GT4s on Monday night, both of us running the Chevy Camaro, and we had a fantastic battle up and down the mountain, as Tracy says in the chat. Must have helped him out big time, as he was racing in karts last night and did awesome. So,
cool.
Well, here we go now. He's now going toe-to-toe with Overtaker, and obviously the karting lines must be helping him out, as it's was it raining by any chance, Tracy? Because right now in these wet conditions he's looking very good, as Peaceful doesn't often do this, but he has said he's done, and he'll take the qualifying ban for next week at Laguna Seca, one of his favorite tracks as well. So Peaceful Explosion has retired.
Oh.
Nexus said he's been in the wall, so he's in the pits now.
And giving up points as well for Peaceful as well.
Yeah, big points as well, as Jay keeps going round. Obviously, Peaceful Explosion will give up points to Jay. I know Jay's still got a pit again as well, but
to be fair, it is extremely frustrating when stuff like that happens to you, and for some of us it seems to happen a lot. You know, we seem to find ourselves right in the middle of the trouble, and you know, I totally empathise sympathise with Peaceful, as we've, you know, have done in the past. When things go wrong, it's really frustrating, and I felt like it last. Although my mistakes were my own last night, I did feel like quitting as well. But yeah, it's gutted. It's hard work.
Well, Tibbs on.
It's not easy, this driving bit.
Tibbs, meanwhile, hasn't had any practice in the wet because the go-kart track
it was an indoor track. Yeah.
So this is the first time he's had to deal with wet conditions, but obviously a go-kart is quite slippery anyway, so he's probably used to a car sliding. But he's still trying his very best to find a way on Overtaker, and Overtaker is really giving him a run for his money here. But
are they coming up to lap somebody? Yes,
they are. I'm not sure who that is. That is Nexus.
57. Yeah, it is Nexus running in 7th place at the moment with his pit stop done as well. They're coming up to lap him. Let's see if Overtaker chooses to take the pit stop, or they catch him before the pit lane, of course.
Obviously,
or he,
once Nexus starts getting blue flags, he will start to have to obey to him and get out of the way. Probably the best place to do it is the Comrade Straight. I mean, they're not quite onto him just yet, so they might just get him at the right time. Slutty Apex had a race last night, and he tripped over DJ Phil as he was coming up the hill. So a worse place to catch a car, especially one that's a little bit slower than you. But either way, Tibbs could use this as an opportunity to get past Overtaker. But right now, Overtaker is looking to try and lap Nexus.
Is Nexus getting blue flags yet?
Yes, he is, but Overtaker really isn't close enough yet.
He's not.
So Tibbs, meanwhile, isn't really close enough to Overtaker. So Nexus, you see, just struggling on the rear there. It might have to get out of the way.
Blue flags.
Overtaker pits.
Overtaker goes for the pits.
Tibbs goes
in after him. Yeah, this will be a pit stop race now.
Smokey's gone in as well.
I wondered if Overtaker would take that opportunity. And as you said, Smokey's in as well, is he?
He is indeed. So all three of these guys opt in to go for the pit stops on this one. So they are all in the pits. They are still waiting for Tech Leader and Jay to serve their pit stops as well. And obviously your race leader, Ripper, who when he came into the pits was 13.6 seconds ahead of the rest of the cars behind him. Tibbs has stopped. Smoky Devil, is he going to get his nailed on? Yes, he does. As a car goes through, that is Paulo, I believe, going through turn 1. He's a lap down, and there's a lot going on elsewhere. No real fights at the minute other than Gary 131 and Tech Leader. They're only celebrated by a second, but Tech Leader still yet to pit. So
all these guys having to negotiate the Team Audio Sport cars parked up in the pit lane again.
Yeah,
you'd think they would put them away in the garage, wouldn't you?
Overtaker's away,
Tibbs away.
They both went green very similar times, and Overtaker will be able to get off the limiter before Tibbs, and that will give him a slight gap.
Tibbs just inside the line, perfectly, in fact. So nothing lost, nothing gained from the two of them. Battle continues. See which ones gets their tyres up to pressure.
Smoky Devil lost a lot of time in that. He's nowhere near them. Tibbs up into turn 2, while Smokey is only now going over the dip. So Smokey was only 2 seconds behind them. He's lost majorly there.
Yes, indeed. He has. I wonder if he repaired some damage, or maybe he missed his mark. Oh, Tibbs keeps it out the wall. It's that first half lap, isn't it?
Yeah. Overtaker had he had a squirrely moment up into turn 4 as well. Yep. So, yeah, both of these two managing to get away with it, and through they go as Jay now opts to pit and get his mandatory pit stop done, as does Ripper as well. So it's just now Tech Leader to complete his final stop, and I think pretty much that is the order that it's going to stand. It's going to be between top for the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place positions.
It's these two are trading mistakes at the moment. Overtaker went a bit wide at the top of the hill. Tibbs had to get out as he as Overtaker goes deep into the elbow, and Tibbs has closed back up again now. The two of them just trying to get these tyres in the window again, just trying to get themselves back comfortable on their tyres, get them up to pressure. They've both, as I said, been trading mistakes, but we'll see as we go down into the chase once again. See who can get through there cleanly.
A reminder as well, Smoky Devil came into the pits. He was 2 seconds behind these two. Now they've gone through the split. He's 10 seconds behind. He's lost 8 seconds in the pits, so he's obviously had to repair damage. Ripper has gone green. He's got Jay right in front of him, meanwhile. So Jay will obviously move to one side and allow him through, but it's the last thing he probably wants to see right now is a car in his way, especially the one that was fighting against him for the race win. But Jay is still minding his own business and going his own way, as Tibbs once again right on the rear wing of Overtaker, can't seem to find a way through at the minute.
Yeah, going back up the hill, they're going to struggle up here. It's so, look at it, it's so thin. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to even believe that this is a two-way road. You know, it's so thin. Tibbs again looks to the outside. He's going to struggle to get round there. Overtaker's just got to hold his line, which he does. He knows how to do it, and away again. It's just not going to happen for Tibbs there, I don't think, do you?
He's just got to wait for a mistake, I think, and then he needs to capitalise on that mistake. I mean, he needs to just keep putting the pressure on Overtake. He hasn't got Smoky Devil near him anymore, so he can just purely focus on trying to force Overtaker into a mistake. Right, now most of the pit stops are done. It is Ripper still leading the way with a gap of 13.8, maintains that gap as Overtaker is in second place. Then it's Tibbs in third place with Smoky Devil in fourth. Euro is in fifth place with Louis Allen sitting in sixth. Seventh is Nexus with Paulo in eighth. Gary131 is in ninth with Tech Leader still yet to pit in 10th and Jay in 11th. Peaceful Explosion as did retire and now he's rolling out again, I think. So we'll see what that's about. But,
will he still get 12th, 11th place points, 12th place points if he does that?
If he finishes the race, then yes. He's got to complete most of the race, though, to get the points. So he's back in the pits again. Tibbs, meanwhile, is lost a little bit of time once again to Overtaker. Nexus is back in the pits again.
He seems to be... Overtaker seems to be quicker up the mountain. And as we get down to this section, this is where Tibbs seems to close up again.
Yeah, it seems like the Honda has a better straight line speed than the Bentley at the minute.
Tank. Yeah, the tank seems to be more planted. Funnily enough, because it weighs 6.5 ton.
Yeah, but obviously, apparently, according to some of the Bentley drivers that I've spoken to, it goes through a weird stage. Matt and Slutty as well, when they're in dirty air, they seem to experience some horrible like loss of front end grip, and it just does not want to grip up at all. So when it's in clean air, the Bentley is definitely a good car, but as soon as it seems to follow another car, it seems to struggle. Obviously, you can see here, Overtaker struggling. I gave it a quick go at Donington,
yeah, I did.
And I thought it was disgusting and got out of it straight away.
I tried it somewhere else. I can't remember where it was. Might have been Kailami or something like that. I thought for the noise it makes, it feels big. Do you know what I mean? When you're driving it, I mean, it's a big car anyway, but the actual kind of perception that you get behind the wheel and the noise it makes, it's a slow kind of sounding, revving kind of, I don't know, it's a V8 in that or V something or other, but it's, don't you think it feels big?
Yeah, it's definitely got
clumsy.
That, big, bulky, and just a bit, just wallows around a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I didn't like it.
I wasn't a fan either, but they are coming up to lap traffic once again. Who is that? That is Jay, I believe.
Is it? Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, so Jay is just ahead of these guys. So once again, Overtaker will want to make sure that Jay is right out of the way. Jay moves to the left-hand side. They catch him on the Comrod straight, and relatively easy. Will Tibbs have it just as easy? Yes, he will. Nicely done there, Jay. Well respected, and off he goes. Yes, he's in a fight with Tech Leader still, but Jay, on the other hand, just being very fair and respectful and allowing these two to go past. Smoky Devil, I think, has been in the wall. He's got a little bit of rear end damage, and now he's definitely not going to catch the two in front of him. He is now 18.8 seconds behind when he was 2 seconds behind them. So sometimes coming in the pits has ended up changing tyre strategies and pressures, and then the car just does not feel right after that.
No, it can be changeable. It can change things. It's supposed to get wetter a bit later on, but to be fair, the race will be over before we get to any more rain. So this is kind of what we got to the end of the race. And I wonder if Smokey's just got his tyre pressures differently or something like that. It's easily done.
Possibly so, and he's just, just getting to the home now, just trying to secure fourth place. Where is Smokey? He's in turn one, and Euro's not even towards the chase yet, so he's got a comfortable gap between him and fifth place. So Smokey's just literally tiptoeing home. Gary's in the pits. Gary's in the pits, so he's ended up in the wall. Tech Leader might be able to get him now. So obviously Nexus has been in the wall. Nexus is actually all over the rear of Tech Leader. I thought there weren't any scratch. Tech Leader's in the wall. Big time, big major damage to that Ferrari. In the wall he goes. And I'll tell you what, for the pro category,
it's been quite scruffy, isn't it?
It has been very scruffy. I mean, Pro-Am and I think Am were a little bit better than this, but a bit of a shame.
Ooh, Tibbs nearly lost it on the downhill. nearly lost it. Back end started to swirl, front end was going towards the wall, but he's collected it all up. That was just a little bit, one of those moments where I think could have gone an awful lot worse.
It could have gone an awful lot worse, but he managed to get away with it, and he's actually probably closer to Overtaker down the hill section than he's ever been, really. But obviously not really enough at the minute. As Tracy says, always got to give a shout out to Dan Davis, the best commentator. Thanks,
You
Tracy.
obviously haven't listened to me before. But you never know. You never know. You might hear more of me.
Maybe. Gary's come out of the pits, and there is Nexus. So Gary's only managed to just stay ahead of Nexus. This could be an interesting scrap heading up towards turn 2, as Nexus has the run. Gary has got cold tyres that are not up to pressure, and that should be easily done for Nexus as he goes around the outside. Gary will just have to fall in line as he does so. And
Tibbs is closer than he's ever been done. Tibbs is closer than he's ever been as they come across, finish straight and go into turn 1. Don't think he's going to get it done there.
Oh, he's just turned in too early. Oh, man, I've done that so many times. Turn in too early and you get on the curb, and especially in these wet conditions, you don't get any traction, and that is it. You struggle to get a good exit, but Tibbs, he had a great opportunity there if he nailed turn 1, but he just made that slight misjudgment.
I think Overtaker was slow through turn 1 anyway. I think he kind of held the car on the apex a little bit, as dear Matt Duffin would say, kind of Plato style, and kind of just held it on the apex. And as you say, Tibbs got all up on the curb and ruins his traction then.
By the end of this race, I reckon Tibbs could get out of the Honda and draw a perfect drawing of the back end of that Bentley.
Yep, what a horrible drawing that would be. I wouldn't bother wasting the pencil.
Tibbs is the closest that Tibbs has ever been through the top end of the circuit to Overtaker. If he can nail the downhill section, he is. Is the Bentley now getting into its weird stage? Is it now struggling a little bit? And the Honda's starting to come alive a bit more. Ripper, meanwhile, has just been matching these two and just maintaining the gap at 13.8. But here comes Tibbs. He's closer than ever down towards the Comrade Straight.
Yep, Overtaker trying to break the toe. Can't keep moving too many times, or so they tell me.
Yeah, apparently weaving has been frowned upon.
Apparently, well, as so they tell me. And Tibbs is so close this time. Does he take a look down the inside? No, he's on the brakes. They're both on the brakes into the chase and through the other side. Is this where Tibbs is going to make his move? Hard on the power. He's going to have a look to the outside. He is going to have a look to the outside, but I don't think he's going to get it done there. He's going to try and switch, take it back to the inside. He tries to get to the inside, but Overtaker's already on the power and away. I think he needs something more. He needs something more.
He needs Overtaker to make a mistake. That was a very good run through turn 1. That was a very good run for Tibbs. This might be the opportunity he needs. He needs a decent overlap, though. There's a yellow flag being shown. Who is that off? That is... who is it? It's I'm not sure who is off, but we go back to Tibbs. He's on the outside of turn 2, and he can't find his way through. 75, I think that was Euro. Euro's had a moment then, so yeah, he's had a moment up at the top of the mountain, but Tibbs had a slight moment there where he got really close to Overtaker, but once again, it just was not enough. The Bentley breaks a massive hole in the air, and that allows the slipstream to be so strong for the Honda.
Yes, indeed, but Tibbs couldn't take advantage of it this time. As I say, the more we go on, the more Overtaker's looking a little bit squirrely as he goes to these cars.
Tibbs
at the moment. Just a graze on the wall, probably get away without any damage on that one. Just a little wake-up reminder, that one.
Overtaker's missed the chicane.
Goes deep. He's missed the chicane. It's not going to change anything because he's able to run forward. Both of these two, are they starting to just lose their concentration a little bit, Dan?
Possibly so. We've still got 10 minutes left to go, so these two will be absolutely sweating it right now by the end of this race. As
you can just imagine, you know what's going through. You know that Overtaker is frantically looking in his mirror, watching Tibbs. You can look at it, and you know that Tibbs is looking at that second place hungrily, just drooling, thinking just the other side of that car is second place. If I can just make it happen. So you know, we both know what pressure these guys are under right at the moment.
Yeah, and Tibbs is not he's not one to be shy of a podium. He's already had one this season at Kyalami. He did finish, I believe, finish behind these two at Kyalami. I think Tibbs has had a podium this season. Let me just double check that information. I might be wrong. Tibbs, Mr. Tibbles. There he is. No, he hasn't actually. He's not had a podium yet. So his best result was P4 at Kyalami. I forgot that Matt was at Kyalami.
It's his first season in pro, isn't it?
Yep, this
I remember
is the first
racing him
time
last season. Yeah.
The first time stepping up into pro. He raced Pro-Am last season in the McLaren. He was teammates with Max Mulder, and
that's right.
And now he is in the pro category, and he's doing a very good job in this Honda.
Yeah, he is doing well.
The best Honda at the minute, and he is trying his very best to stick to at the back of Overtaker and try and force him into a mistake. Right. With only 9 minutes left to go, it is still Ripper. Oh, Ripper really floating. He's floating with the wall a little bit. He's leading the way with Overtaker still holding on to that second place with Tibbs sitting in third. P4 is still Smoky Devil with Euro sitting in P5. Louis Allen is P6 with Paulo sitting in P7. Nexus is in P8. He's got major damage once again to his car. So that means Tech Leader and Gary131 will be interested to get along past him. Gary's in 9th with Jay in 10th. Tech Leader is in 11th and Peaceful Explosion in 12th place position. But your main fight is still between Overtaker and Tibbs.
Yes, indeed. I've not getting all of my timings on my screen. I don't know for why, but I seem to have some gaps in my timings.
That's because of the split, when they go through the split. So Overtaker is now coming up to split number 3, and you'll see the lap time come up now, and there it is, and you'll see the same for Tibbs, and that's the gap, obviously, when they go through that split. So,
and we've got such big gaps that yeah. Okay, they're coming up to lap. Who would that be? Tech Leader, would it, in the green car, or was that Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever he's called?
It's not Euro. Euro's just up the road.
What are we?
That is probably
81.
Paulo.
81. Yeah, Paulo. That's the one. They're coming up to lap him next.
It should be an interesting moment then. Sutty says, what are the lap times of the boys doing, just to see how far off I was. So,
very far.
So Overtaker at the minute, he's currently in the... He's done his best. He's done a 2:08.9 that lap. So he's in the 2:09s, 2:10s. That's what lap times he was doing. Tibbs, I think, has matched him as well. But Ripper is miles ahead of all that. His best was a 2:08.5, and he's just been doing 2:09s. He had a moment in lap 14 where he did a 2:10.0, but that has actually been his slowest lap, a 2:10.0.
So that's what you've got to be looking at for next season, Sutty, when you're back in pro.
He says he's going to bin it, and so he makes sure he stays in pro.
Yeah, he's not going to. Yeah. Well, I've got to make sure I bin it then, because I don't want to end up in pro.
Well, you ain't got a PS5, so you don't have to worry about it too much.
No, in a minute I'll be obsolete, so it doesn't matter.
Right, so Overtaker is now right on the rear wing of Paulo, who's really not
getting out of the way.
He is really getting in the way right here, and obviously the chase is the S's and the Dipper is really the worst place to end up, and now he's up towards Forest Elbow. Tibbs will be going, go on, hang in there a little bit longer, stay there a little bit longer. Paulo now getting right out of the way. Overtaker not happy with that, and that has allowed Tibbs to get closer, but again, he could get close, but he doesn't seem to have any answer to Overtaker. He needs Overtaker to make a big mistake.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to take, Dan. I think you're right.
Although Tibbs has got great straight line speed down towards the chase, and he gets ever so closer once again, but Overtaker just puts his car in the middle of the track, and he just keeps the Honda behind him.
I'm always looking at Tibbs. I'm always kind of looking at him when he's getting to the chase, of like, go on, throw up the inside into the chase, like. But he's obviously thinking better of it and doesn't want to go wide and ruin it. But he's got a huge gap back to Smokey. In a minute, wouldn't you think? Is it worth a go?
He does. I think the
He's not
problem
close
is
enough, is he?
he isn't close enough coming down to the chase. Yes, it's all well and good saying lunge down the inside and do a slutty send it, but at the same time, he's just not been able to get close enough to really give it a good shot. And I think really that's his best overtaking. He's tried at turn 2. Overtaker knows exactly what he's going to do there.
Yeah.
He's attempted at turn
smart,
1. And turn 1 as well, he's had a look. He really needs to hope that he has a fantastic run down the hill into Forest Elbow and gets the best traction. Oh, Overtaker has a squirrely moment in turn 4. But this is what he needs to be seeing. He needs to start putting Overtaker really under pressure now.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just talking out loud here. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't condone any kind of crazy moves, you know, that aren't gonna come off. But you know, into the chase, the fear is of running wide under the, you know, braking too late and running wide out onto the grass. And I'm just thinking, you know, Tibbs has got.
Oh, Jay's in the wall again.
Tibbs hasn't got.
Sorry, Jay's in the wall, and Tech Leader is now coming up behind him, and I think Tech Leader will get him in through there. But while they're all struggling there, these two are coming to the scene of the accident.
Okay, let's hope it doesn't mess with their race.
But that's all the Overtaker seems to be able to do is get the downhill section right. Once he gets the downhill section right, Tibbs can't do anything with that straight line speed that he has in the Honda. Yeah. Look, he's long gone. There is Jay's all over the shot. He's really struggling with the car, and he'll be coming back to the pits.
I mean, he's not close enough now, and I mean, he probably hasn't been close enough at all. And as I said, I've been thinking out, you know, just thinking out loud and thinking, you know, he's no pressure from behind. Smokey is a long way back. I mean, and you know, he's got to make it clean. You've got to make it right. But the clock's ticking, you know.
Speaking of Smokey, he's in the wall as well. He's in the wall at the top of the hill, and Tibbs now has got 2 back markers up ahead. Ripper will be coming shortly to start his final lap. He's currently on the penultimate lap, but Tibbs, I think, is running out of time, and I think Overtaker, all he has to do is just keep it on track, and he has got this in the bag. But yeah, once again, all these guys just way off the pace of Ripper at the minute.
So frustrating, isn't it? Following a car so closely for so long. I had some fun last night with Leon Fernie, where I was as close as this to him for a few laps until I ended up dropping it and putting it in the wall, and that was the end of that one. But it's fun racing, but it's frustrating when you're just that little bit quicker than the car in front, but you just can't find anywhere to get past.
It is frustrating indeed, as you see there, Overtaker trying everything he possibly can to keep the Honda behind him. Smoky Devils in the pits. Euro is... he hasn't gone past him yet. Smokey's returned to the pits. So he's got locked. He's locked in position, so he won't be able to go through. Louis Allen will gain a position as well. So Louis is going to be working his way through the order as Overtaker really struggling through the downhill section as he catches onto the back of Tech Leader, who is trying his best to get out of the way. But it is Bathurst, it is Mount Panorama, and Overtaker is all over the back of that Ferrari. He's flashing him like mad, and Tech Leader moves to one side. And through goes Overtaker now.
Stay over there. Oh, no.
Don't do that, Tech Leader.
Yeah. You tilt right back into Tibbs' path. I would have been not happy with that with Tibbs if that was me. Well, you know what I'd be saying at that point, Dan. You get an idea of what kind of language would be coming out of my mouth right at that point.
A ticket would definitely be going in for sure. One mistake, severe damage, says Smoky Devil, and that's what happens when you make that one mistake. The mountain bites. So Tibbs, you've got one more lap to go and try and at least get past Overtaker, or else you're just going to have to settle for 3rd place on this one, my friend.
Yeah, Sutty Apex saying I will be in Pro-Am. I am not a pro driver, too slow. Well, like it or not, my friend, you are 2nd in the championship, and you will be going back up into Pro. Not a pro driver. Not a pro driver. You've always been in Pro, apart from the last season or 2. That's where you belong, Sutty.
Where is Nexus? Nexus is currently going up the hill. I don't know if he'll get Smokey. Smokey's locked at the minute, so he'll have 2 minutes to be unlocked. So we are now come to the end of the timer, so this is the last lap. as it was already said previously. Get your votes on driver of the day. The poll is out at the minute, so get your votes in. Kelly, obviously, we'll be coming to you later on for your opinion, as Gary131 is the next backmarker. He gets straight out of the way, and that is the experience. That is the experience of Gary. He moves right out of the way. He knows these two are in a scrap, and it's for P2, and he just moves straight out of the way. Good stuff there. Tibbs, closest he's ever been on the downhill section, but this is where Overtaker seems to have the grunt. He gets a better downhill section. Where is Ripper? He's just halfway down Comrade Straight, so we'll come back to him momentarily, but I think that is it. Overtaker has done everything he possibly can, and Smokey says he's got 5 minutes worth of damage, so Nexus will get ahead of him. So
what did he do? Rip the axle off it?
I don't know, but he said severe damage. Overtaker is weaving, and that's actually that's slowing him down.
Slowing him down.
Tibbs has got closer because of it.
Yeah, what was he doing? That was severe.
Meanwhile, Ripper back on top once again and wins the second race once again. A little bit of gap this time, a little bit easier for him, but it is between these two for the final few places, and it is just going to be Overtaker to the end. What a drive, though, from Tibbs. Really put Overtaker from pressure at the start. So Overtaker for second,
Brilliant
Tibbs
racing
for third. Euro is going to finish in fourth. Nexus has finished. He finished seventh in the end and got Smokey right at the end. So did Gary. He's going to get Smokey at the end. But yeah, Euro's the next one. Tech Leader has crossed the line. He will get all these cars are all over the place. I don't even know who's finishing where. So Tech Leader has finished the race. It is now Paulo, I believe, who's coming towards the line. He's finished in P6, so good points for him. Gary131's got major damage, and he's now dragging himself back to the line. He is going to finish in P8, so he's got to be relatively happy with that one. Peaceful will finish in 12th place position, and it is then just Euro and Louis Allen still to come, but Overtaker, Ripper with a phenomenal race, Overtaker in second, and Tibbs in third. So those guys are your top three. Euro is going to come home in P4, but what a race we had there. Get your votes for driver of the day in the chat. Currently at the minute we've got 3 votes. Come on, guys, get your votes in. There's 18 of you watching at the minute, and I will come over to Kelly for his driver of the day while I put the tables in.
Oh, you want me to go about it now?
Yes, please, and a quick roundup of tonight's race.
Yeah, some great racing. You know, it's bizarre. I haven't watched Pro for some time, and there was some fantastic racing.
Is Louis Allen? No, I thought Louis Allen ran out of fuel then because he was very slow. He's fine.
Has he made it? He made it. Or he's not quite there yet, is he? He's not quite finished the race. Yeah, I thought we had some fantastic racing tonight. Some great respect between racers, Ripper and Jay in the first race, and Tibbs and Overtaker in the second race. Did also see some very questionable driving as well, and I'm sure Peaceful will agree with me on that one, which is actually good to see because you know, it's not just AM and Pro-Am. There is also some questionable stuff going on in Pro as well, which makes me smile. But as far as my driver of the day, I've got to say I was hell-bent on Jay for driver of the day because of his race 1 performance, although in race 2, Exit Tibbs was probably my driver of the day because he held on to it for longer, 45 minutes of pretty much chasing Overtaker down, and but some great racing between Overtaker and Exit Tibbs, but I'm going to give it to Exit Tibbs tonight. Good showing from him.
Definitely, indeed. And
was that enough for me talking rubbish for you to put the tables in?
Yeah, pretty much so. I'm pretty much done. We do have Overtaker in the chat with us, so we will talk to him just as I finish doing the tables. Overtaker, it's been an interesting night's worth of racing. Obviously, Bathurst, Mount Panorama, wet racing as well. Probably everything that you probably hated tonight, but nonetheless, you've got to be relatively happy coming away with a third and a second place and survive the mountain.
Yeah, thank you very much. I survived it. That was the goal. It's a shame I couldn't win race 1. Congrats to Ripper and Jay. We made contact, and that meant we fallen behind.
Yeah.
The leader, and then I I was confident that I could keep Reaper behind in race one, but then when I tried to attack for the win, then I lost the momentum and Reaper made an excellent move on the outside. So congrats to him, and I saw at the end that he won by just by a little bit. So I was a bit frustrated by that, but anyway, congrats to him. And then for race two, yeah, like you said, exit tips kept me honest for the whole race, but I managed to keep him behind.
I was going to say, obviously, if it wasn't for the jump at the start of the race, Tibbs probably would have disappeared into the distance. He seemed to have the pace on you at times, but it seemed like you had the pace going up and down the mountain, and then he just pulled you in towards the sector one and sector 3.
Yeah, I knew my only hope for the second race was to show my big cojones, so I was just throwing the car into the steep downhill section and hoping for the best, because that was my only hope. He was playing it a bit safe, I think, and that's the place that he was losing, because on all other parts of the track he was faster, like you said.
Yeah, and obviously we now, like I said, we got Bathurst, probably the most difficult circuit out the way and in the wet, done and dusted. We now move to Laguna Seca for the next round of the season. A few of the pro drivers will be back. You haven't had your teammate here tonight either, Fury. He's not been able to race with you. So regarding the team, meanwhile, you still got quite a healthy lead. Going to Laguna, though, what are you expecting from there? Do you like the circuit? Do you think the Bentley will suit it? And I believe it's meant to be dry as well, so no more wet weather for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's a positive for sure, because I think I'm gonna bring the fight to Reaper again into the Laguna Seca. Last season we were there, I was struggling a lot, but that's because the McLaren is not suited for the track. I think the Bentley is going to be faster and stronger, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, nonetheless, Overtaker, congratulations on the 2 podiums tonight, and we will see you in a week's time at Laguna Seca.
Yep, thanks, man. See you there.
Some brilliant driving, Jan, this evening. I thought it was absolutely awesome, and you never cease to amaze me how precise and controlled you are, considering you're on the pad. Awesome driving tonight.
Yeah, thank you, man. That was all for you, buddy, for coming back on the stream.
Well,
absolutely.
Regarding the championship, it looks like this. Ripper still leads the way as Overtaker sits in second. Obviously, these results are still yet to be confirmed, obviously, for penalties and stuff to be awarded or so on and so forth. Peaceful is now in P3 with Fury in P4. Hopefully, Fury can make a return and try and fight back. Jay is currently P5, and he is only a couple points behind Fury. Tibbs now is only 2 points behind Jay in P5, with Gary131 now down into 7th, with Tech Leader in P8. Matimovic has dropped all the way down to 9th place, with Nexus in 10th. Euro is in 11th, with Louis Allen in 12th. Smoky Devil is in 13th, with Paulo in 14th. Green Wolfinator in 15th. Emplava is still mathematically in the championship, but more likely will be out of it after Laguna Seca. And obviously, the 4 that haven't turned up recently are all out of the championship as well and unlikely to make a return. Teletubby Motorsport still lead the way. They got 175 points at Killer Performance Motorsport, with Flying Potatoes in P3, Jaeger Motorsport in P4, with Titan Euro Racing in P5, SimPlay Racing in P6, the Hot Wheels Racing in P7, JWB Esports Racing is in P8, and Manufacturers is still Bentley leading the way ahead of Audi, with Ferrari in P3, Honda to P5, and McLaren in McLaren in P5 and Honda in P4. We will see you in a week's time as we head to Laguna Seca. Regarding, for me, driver of the day, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Jay for the first race, just because he did take a great fight towards Ripper and Overtaker, but just got pipped on the line. But for me, my driver of the day has to go the way of Tibbs. A fantastic drive in race 2. Really put Overtaker under pressure. Another honourable mention as well. Euro did a great night's worth of racing. He scored some decent points and kept his nose clean as well. So, yeah, a good night's worth of racing at the mountain, but it's Ripper who is king of the mountain. And like I said, we will see you in a week's time at Laguna Seca, where the GT4s will return. On Monday, Am will be the Tuesday night. Pro-Am will be on Wednesday. Pros will be back on Thursday. And the PS5 League begins this Sunday. Tune in at 8 p.m. as myself and Matahimovic will be bringing you all the action of the new season of the PS5 League, where we head to Monza for the first race of the season, and you might see some brand new cars on track. But from myself and Kelly and everybody here from SimPlay Motorsport, it is a good night.
Good night.